liked by the sound of violence.
Thank you, Dana. You're so gracious. You're such a good guy. You're such a good leader. Thank you for your service. You're the one who brought sports back. Oh yes, Dana, when everyone was shitting their pants, like running around like headless chickens and putting protocols in place like pussies, we needed a real man to bring it all back on track. I mean, even Steve Bannon was such a smart guy, such a great, awesome guy, said that you're a real patriot, you know? The first to host a full capacity event after the globalists forced everyone inside and muzzled them. Holy fucking shitballs, Dana, you should run for president. Florida still has a whole bunch of cases and deaths from COVID, from a surge in maskless protocol-free spring break festivities, but who gives a shit? Sports! If you're a pussy, no balls, chicken shit, fucking bitch boy virgin who cares about shit like people's lives, then MMA is not for you, fella. I'm gonna go fucking chug bleach now. In other news, the UFC provides free masks for UFC 261 and UFC 262.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. We are an MMA podcast. Let you know the MMA podcast you should catch and can't miss each week, as well as we aim to be a form of mutual aid for the MMA podcast community. I am Pulver, and I'm back yet again with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. How's it going, man?
It's lit.
Yeah, you've been having a heck of a day, I heard. I mean, y'all can tell by Chris's shirt, he's been having a heck of a day.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to San Diego's own Cookies Dispensary. You can see the Padres Slayer here. The swinging friar is swinging a joint instead of the old shillelagh, as they say in baseball. And yeah, I got myself.
Also, might want to pull that mic back over now that you just bumped the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, just bumped.
Pull it back in front of you.
Rolling chair. It's right here in front of my face. So.
Again, might want to move a little bit closer. But yeah, like Chris is trying to say, he's been having a heck of a day. And I heard you've been drinking with the homie Lil Trevor all day, which is going to make this for a fun one, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good one. Good to see Trevor, of course. Yeah, it was a fun day. It was a nice day off. Been dealing with some fun folks all week.
Yeah. It is that time of year I've been seeming. It's been seeming out in public recently.
Oh no, I've been seeming.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we are in San Diego, so there'd be hella semen. You know what I'm saying? That's a Navy joke for all y'all who've never been to San Diego. Anyway, I guess this is a great segue, Chris, into our Papa Vodka presents, Doug Stanhope presents, our super legit sponsors. I mean, number one's got to be Cookies this week for you, I have a feeling.
Yeah, 100% Cookies is the number one sponsor for sure. Hence the shirt, hence the marijuanas I will share whenever applicable.
Yeah.
Maybe
Also,
once you have your sponsor.
yeah, I was gonna say. Well, we'll get to the. Well, you know what? We'll do a round of drink sponsors, and then we'll do a round of flower sponsors, I guess. So, also shouts to Mark Fellows in chat, who you know is drinking at least a double IPA, if not a triple, right now. Although he is in Australia, so the time has got to be pretty fucked up. Although Mark Fellows is known to drink a beer at any time of day.
Oh, Mark Fellows, you fucking masochist, mate.
Dude, Mark Fellows does not fuck with single IPAs, from what I can tell. That dude's got at least a double on deck at all times. Speaking of which, I guess I will. You know what? I'll start off with the beer, Chris, and then we'll jump to your stuff. Just because it segues well. I am actually, so you heard me at the beginning, pop open a Voodoo Ranger IPA from New Belgium. That's because it's not actually the beer I'm starting this with. That was just because I needed a popping open sound effect, and it's my backup. Ooh, 1:42 p.m. is beer and clock indeed, Mark. So 100%. You have to let us know what you're drinking. But I actually am starting off this episode with a... Chris, you've had Toppling Goliath, the brewery, before, right?
Yes,
they do
I have.
King Sue and Pseudo Sue, which are some fantastic
they have like
hazies.
the T-Rexes and the dinosaurs.
Exactly, yeah. It's super good hazies. But I actually got their Cherry Fandango, which is essentially a cherry pie beer. I believe the listing on it is... pouring a seductively red hue with aromas reminiscent of cinnamon cherry crusted pie, this kettle sour treat is both tart and sweet. No pits about it, just cherry on the top, bottom, and middle. I hate fucking breweries that do those kinds of fucking descriptions, but it's pretty good. I like their hazies better. It's pretty rare for me because I'm not much of a IPA or hazy guy. Well, I say that. I drink them all the fucking time, but like... they're never the beers I'm the most excited about when I go to a brewery anymore. Mostly I'm the most excited about sours, porters, and like crisp lagers and pilsners and shit like that. But I don't know. Kettle sours, this is like right on the edge of... Chris, you probably know that butyric acid pukey thing you get off some kettle sours.
Yeah, I got some news to tell you later because my boss is never going to hear this podcast, so I got some good news for you and everyone else. So yeah, we'll get it in about 2 minutes. But go ahead.
Well, anyway, this thing it's very like this. I would say this is a super approachable. Oh, holy shit! No way, Mark Fellows. Wait, you're drinking Ranger, right? Because there's no way you're drinking this Cherry Fandango. That does not seem like a beer you would buy. We will have an update on the break or on Twitter here in a minute. With Mark Fellows is evidently, Mark Fellows drinking Voodoo Ranger as well, like a goddamn gangster,
like a professional.
Let me know what you think about it. Voodoo Ranger is one of those like IPAs that it's very by the books in my opinion. Like it very much is like It reminds me, it's better than the old Ranger series that New Belgium did a while back. But Voodoo Ranger is like, I don't know. I like it all right. It's totally like fine as a beer. But like it's very middle of the road. Like I would put it very much on par with like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale kind of, you know? I don't know. Yeah. Chris, what do you think?
As far as what the
Voodoo Ranger, you've had that a bunch, right?
I've had that a long time ago. Yeah, I could definitely see Sierra Nevada.
I mean, I feel like
that kind of like middle body, kind of hoppy, kind of.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that way about most New Belgian beers at this point because they're so like malty. Yeah. For IPAs, like they're very much like old school IPAs. Still fucking like them a lot, but I don't know. It's also because we're very spoiled down here, and everything is very crisp. Whereas like the Voodoo Ranger and all New Belgian beers are very much on the bready side of IPAs, I would call them.
I'd say that it's a bready and very malty, kind of sweet, almost grainy, kind of like.
Well, that's kind of that brewery style. Outside of like back in the day when they had the pop and sours like La Folie and stuff like that. Yeah. But like nowadays, I mean, Fat Tire is and has always been kind of their standard bearer, and they've definitely leaned more towards that the more corporate they've gotten. So, I think that I also probably have fucked up feelings about New Belgium because they eventually stopped being employee owned, if I remember right, which doesn't make me feel great about Belgium, because that was like their whole gimmick for the entire time they were going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All that being said, though, this Cherry Fandango from Toppling Goliath is very drinkable. It's right on the not pukey side of pukey, when it comes to kettle sours. Like you don't get that butyric acid, but it comes like right up to the edge of it, where it's not quite tart enough, but it's still very sweet. So it's got like this weird kind of balance. It's not the best balanced beer, but if you are into cherry flavored stuff and you like a kind of a light pastry, like a cinnamon touch to it, like more like an apple pie kind of beer than like a actual crust kind of feeling, then it's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, Chris, what are you drinking on?
So what I'm drinking on, it has nothing to do with what I was drinking on earlier. So earlier...
Oh, yeah, actually, why don't we start with that? You went to a cool-ass brewery today.
Yeah, so I went to Cookies Dispensary, clearly, hence the t-shirt.
Shouts to La Mesa.
Shouts to La Mesa.
Also, which you guys might have seen on fire recently in the last year. If you guys remember San Diego being on fire and banks burning, that would have been La Mesa. Not blocks from that place.
I wasn't in La Mesa to see people on fire.
No, you were just there to get that fire, you know what I'm saying?
No, real shit. I went to Helix Brewing. Fantastic brewery. Their IPAs are kind of more dry, crispy. There was one I tried called Mountains, my favorite one. It was hops from New Zealand and Australia, so it was like a galaxy, and I always forget the other Stella hops that's from New Zealand, the Kiwi hops.
Same.
God fucking damn it.
Yeah, they start getting into weird names after
you know what it tastes like?
Galaxy.
I'm not a big white wine drinker by any means. I do like a good Sauvignon Blanc, right? A good New Zealand kind of Australian white wine. It had that very good crispy, dry grape notes. If you like green grapes, it had that finish of a green grape, and it was nice, man. And it was a really good, dry, crispy IPA with green grapes, and it was just a nice mouthfeel for an IPA that's not overly bitter. It's not over. It's just a fantastic IPA. Everything I tried, the lady there. Yeah, she was like, "Hey, can you give me a flight? Just give me your." I was like, "Sure." I was like, "Hey, just give me like your top 4 beers."
Yeah, like, what are you selling?
And they were all IPAs. They were all IPAs, and all of them were nice and crispy. It was great because most IPAs, I feel like it's either hazy or it's some sort of juice bomb, or it's like double fucking bitter. No, none of these were overly bitter. They were all crushable. Not that you want to crush an IPA, but 100% shouts out to Helix Brewing. I ended up getting a growler from them, of course, of that basically grape flavored wine, Mountains IPA, and it was fire, dude.
Gotta ask, since Mark Fellows asked in chat, could the grape be Nelson Savin, or I always forget how to pronounce this. It's a Nelson. It's a Nelson variety.
So
probably
now that you mentioned Nelson, let me please go back to Untapped, because you know how
Mark Fellows also saying it sounds double dry hopped. That also sounds like it probably is. I know East County loves their clean IPAs and especially dry hopping them. Shots of Burning Beard as well.
Yeah, Mountains. Let's see this. I'll tell you this right now, my friend. So it says Mountains of New Zealand, Nelson Savon.
Yeah, boom! Mark Fellows nailing it in chat from across the goddamn world.
Nice.
Mark Fellows. Yo, if y'all know, Mark Fellows' beer game is on point. Motueka.
Tropical wine aromas for a white wine finish. Fresh, bright, and crisp, just like the mountains we love. Yeah, this is a very good beer.
Dude, so first off, we gotta say, respect to Mark Fellows in chat nailing that shit. 100%. The only thing I could help you with is Galaxy, because I love me some like early generation New Zealand hop varieties. Stone was doing a ton of Mark Fellows just dropping the sunglasses to the beer emoji in chat, killing it, bruh. But
you're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
Dude, Mark is legit. Yo, I will say Mark is in my top 3 MMA personality references for when it comes to beer and booze and stuff. Anybody who's that active on Bill Welker and or John Morgan's feed, they know their beer game for sure. Speaking of which, we still have to make it down to whatchamacallit one of these days. What is the goddamn brewery that god damn it, why can I not think of their name? They're right in they're at the old Mission Brewery location. Latchkey. We definitely have to make it down to Latchkey still one of these days. I heard they have good stuff. Anyway, well, I should get into you should get into the weed you got, Chris, because that was the other thing you were gonna pimp is all the cookie stuff. Since first off, that cookie shirt is tight as fuck.
Yeah, for those who didn't see, it's the swinging friar of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, as Chris keeps elbowing the shit out of his mic, but yes, it's the the friars dude smoking a joint, and it's a banger.
So the stuff I got, because I am
also, Chris, go ahead and pull that mic all the way in front of you.
Yeah, it's right in my face. Right here, I'm gonna eat the mic.
No, I know. Just don't punch it. Just eat it.
I know. I'm kidding. So, anyways, what I got here, I'll show the mic. This is what I went for. So they had a deal where you buy an eighth and you get another eighth for $9. So the eighth I bought is called Caked Up Cherries. He basically said it's not too harsh of an indica, but it'll put you to sleep. That's what I'm there for, right? I don't know if you could see that on the mic.
Yeah, and so the company that makes that brand is Outco, actually. Which,
yes, Outco.
Do you know anything about Outco?
Dude, I am ignorant as fuck when it comes to any sort of cannabis companies or any sort of cannabis production companies.
I am very excited to get your thoughts on this because Outco is a local brand, I believe, that's grown out in East County. Because Outco has their own dispensary out in El Cajon, and I believe they grow their own there. And so I am very curious to see, because I've wanted to try Outco stuff, but I never actually got any of it. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
So what's funny is I haven't even tried the indica yet. I have tried another one that I tried with the homie Trevor, which is a hybrid.
How's that?
So this one is called, which I am hilariously, ironically, or as the kids nowadays say, unironically. I say that all the time, but it's like, do you know what that really means? That just means I'm serious without telling you I'm serious. That's all that means. But
no, it means no cap. That's
all it is. Yeah, how many times have you fucking seen that? Unironically, that's awesome. It's like, bro, you can just say that's awesome. But
yeah. Well, can you nowadays, though? Because irony is so broken.
Chris, anyways, unironically, this is called Eagle Scout, and I am an Eagle Scout. So how funny is that?
I'm just a lowly ass weeblo, so I can't talk no shit.
We be loyal scouts. Yeah, right. Anyways,
is that what that stands for?
That's what it's actually. Oh
god, Dan Tom Jerkoff Chiff. Which I guess is inappropriate if we're talking about Boy Scouts,
no,
right?
It's totally appropriate, unfortunately, for the wrong reasons. Anyways, I've had a little bit of this. I tried it with Trevor, and to me it feels like hybrid indica dominant. This is a solid strain. I'm not tired, but I'm kind of focused, and it's kind of like that hybrid kind of feeling of. I'm definitely gonna try. The old caked up cherries and all that shit if I want to go sleep, but I don't want to go sleep right now. So.
Well, there you go.
I'll be smoking another, but so for Outco, the company. Has been solid.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up.
Shouts out to Cookies, because I even told the guy, I'm like, hey, man, I haven't been to a dispensary in like a year, because my brother grows that fire, and he's like, hey, man, that's what's up.
No, they're the best there. They're cool as fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
The dude gave me beer recommendations last time I was there, because I had a resident brewing hat on. He's like, dude, you into hazies? You gotta go to this place right down the street. I was like, oh, I know about culture for sure. Yeah, I know, it's hilarious. That place is dope as hell, and all those dudes do smoke straight fire. Like, everybody there actually will give you dope recommendations because they all smoke fuckloads of weed. So pretty tight for sure. Well, on that note, I guess I should shout out what I got. I said the beer. I also am smoking this week. I did pick up, so man, I love March. I am repping the March and Ash hat this week, and that's because they gave me so many goddamn deals this week. So I got weed on 420 because I'm a delinquent, right? Got to do a weed order on 420, especially when they're doing hella buy one get one deals. So I did that. They then were slow on delivery, so they gave me 20% off on the entire order without me asking or anything. They just did that, which was dope. And then a week later, they sent me, by the way, since our orders were delayed so much on 420, we're giving anybody who ordered on 420 a 50% discount for anything in the store. So I did another March Dash order in which I got a quad of Alien Labs Crypto Chronic, which looks fucking stupid fire and is, I don't know, percentages don't matter for shit, but it is allegedly a total 26.34% cannabinoids. And then I also got some of the King's Garden, some of their Roadkill, which is supposed to be fire as well. So, yeah. Fucking March has been treating me great lately. So I figured I would shout them out. And I'm currently smoking, I should say, that Walfredo from Florical, which I don't know if you guys can see, but it is super stupid. Yeah, that will not focus. And if it does, it's going to forever unfocus everything else. But, yeah, I'd be smoking that fire. And it's been good. I also have not been drinking hard alcohol, which has been weird for like a week. It's been fine. I've just been drinking a lot of beers and smoking twice as much weed. It's been good. So, Chris, now that we've talked about weed for 20 minutes and beer, I guess we should talk about podcasts, right?
Yeah, or I can try.
First off, you should for sure pull that mic all the way the fuck over in front of you, bro. Oh my god. You are killing me right now. Talking to that mic. Okay, well that's aggressive, but yes, I can hear you now. It's much better. Also, shouts to Iggy and Matt in chat, 100%. Iggy shouting out that everyone has irony poisoning at this point, which I feel like our country is a big part of the problem with, and the country who hates Iggy is also a big part of that, I would say. And then also caring about shit is cringe. That's just big facts in 2021. Matt Joya also in chat saying that he's talking about get that discount king, which Matt's also the one who keeps trying to get me to get that purple from 710 Labs, which I'm looking for, bro. That Jaleel White's hard to find nowadays after 420, so I'm keeping my eyes out still.
Did you see what country we pissed off today?
See, you're like half in the mic, half not in the mic. You gotta put it in front of you.
The mic's in front of my face.
No, but it's to the... Put it... I want it 45 degrees from your face.
Sure. Like, I'll just say this.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly where I want it.
All right.
I can hear you.
Did you see which country that we pissed off today?
I mean, let me guess. Did we bomb them?
Not yet. So,
Okay.
Turkey.
Oh.
Think about realistically why Turkey would be mad.
I mean,
think about a genocide that no one's ever acknowledged.
Oh, yeah. I heard that news that Biden's never going to do.
Oh, no, he did it.
Did he actually say it?
Today? Yeah. Well, it's great. Yeah, and Turkey's real mad. And
Dude,
I'm really
Sam
happy.
Tripoli must be so conflicted right now because he's like, well, on one side, Biden and Hillary eat babies, but on the other side, he is acknowledging the Armenian genocide, which I've been screaming about for a decade.
That happened. That was today. That happened, and it's fantastic.
I might have to listen to Sam Tripoli's podcast for the first time in like
good
a
on
decade.
you, President Biden, because this is great.
Sure. I mean, everything else is pretty terrible that dude's done.
I know.
Anyway, we're not that podcast.
I just had to say that just to fuck shit up. So.
Yeah, Matt Joya chanting USA in chat, which means we must be talking about white people, as demonstrated in Florida this weekend, which we will get to in a bit.
Oh boy.
God damn it, I hate this country. I was gonna say sometimes, but most of the time. I hate most of the people. How about that? All right, Chris. Well, on that note, now that we've officially done our best to get completely off the rails before we even got on them. We are fucking derailing out the gates. But why don't we start with the MMA podcast you recommend people catch this week?
That's a good question, considering I had zero notes.
Oh, that's true. You do have zero notes. Do you want me to just go through stuff, and then I bet a lot of these you're going to touch on?
That's a fact. Because
I mean, let's put it this way. Do you have any of them that stand out to you as a catch out the gate that you listen to?
as far as like after what we recorded for this past weekend,
Yeah.
because if I'm
See, our
honest,
timing is so fucking crazy nowadays that, yeah, it's tough, right?
Oh no, my schedule is fucking trash.
Well,
I'll tell you
it's
this,
a combination
we
of...
do have-
it's a combination of your schedule and just like us recording on Mondays really fucked us
I'll
for
tell you this right now. We have a notice out to get, hey, third person, please come help us serve beer, and we're waiting on that right now. Because I'll tell you this, like we had I enjoyed it fantastic. We had a great fantastic podcast, last Monday, right? And then now it's like, well, it's like, all right, Chris, here comes a pay-per-view this weekend, even though you're working every day of the week. Good luck. And I'm like, yeah, I listened to like one podcast, and then I also didn't watch any of the That's not true. I actually ended up catching up all day today.
Dude,
yeah, but
that's what most of this podcast is going to be. Is that
that's my honest answer? It's like it's a shame.
Yeah, and dude, honestly though, that's kind of a good. It's kind of a decent reflection on where I feel like a lot of people are at right now when it comes to listening to podcasts, because I feel like a lot of people that were listening to a ton of podcasts are now like starting to get back into weird rhythms with their work where they aren't able to listen to as much of it.
I will say.
So I feel like you're kind of reflecting a lot of people's thoughts.
In all honesty, there is a certain person, and I will not say their name at all during this entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's a detriment and embarrassment to mixed martial arts and boxing.
Yeah.
Name. It's embarrassing. This piece of shit has been brought up way too many times. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. What I do have to say is UFC 261 was an absolutely fantastic card. I didn't watch it basically until today. When I got home from work, I caught the main event, and that was it. So I have that raw, authentic kind of reaction to that fight. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute. So you know what we'll do for this segment real quick is I'm going to burn through the stuff I listened to, because I know you did catch a decent amount of this. You just don't have notes on stuff. So I'll go through what I got, and then you can chime in if you remember any other stuff you listened to. So we'll go ahead and start with actually something that popped in. Oh, first off, also pro tip from Matt Joya in chat. The I would argue probably the most professional member of the why can I not remember the fucking name of this show? I know it's a pun on a movie Matt hasn't seen. I know the movie. It's not no jujitsu for you. Why do I keep trying to say that? Matt, what the fuck is the name of your show? Clearly, Matt, it's been too long since you put out an episode, because I can't remember the name of your goddamn show right now. It's jujitsu with cheese. Fucking
okay.
Royale Jiu-Jitsu.
Do you remember what I talked to you about when
it's
I heard
fucking
Jiu-Jitsu?
Oh god damn it. Hold on. I got this. I'm right there, Chris. It's a fucking it's stab jiu-jitsu in the heart with adrenaline. Say us again. There we go. I knew I was right there. All right. Oh, man.
I want to hear that every time. All I hear is Jiu-Jitsu with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, kill 100%. Me now.
Anyway, yeah, say us again. 100%. That's a little, yeah, the BJJ. Actually, the BJJ Hour is a thing, I'm pretty sure. I think that's an actual podcast. If it's not the show that, I forget the name of the show that the dude from Verbal Tap does, the BJJ show. It's not that, but it's very close to that. But somebody used to do the BJJ Hour, if I remember right. And it, ironically enough, much closer to an hour. All right, so Shang-Chi and Q&A for the 420 episode, bro. Shang-Chi actually did drop in chat last episode and say, listen to the Q&A. And I said 100% because, like I tell everybody every episode, if you tell me to listen to an episode of yours, I will do it. Because if you guys are proud of an episode you did, probably means that it's worth listening to. And Shang-Chi absolutely nailing this in this episode. He talks about the Askren versus Ronald Paul fight. He also talks about the middleweight title picture. he also addresses why he intentionally goes out of his way not to talk about Ulysses S. Paul on podcasts. He essentially talks a lot about why he makes podcasts and he discusses things on podcasts because it's what he wants to hear talked about and it's what he wants to talk about, and that's what Severe MMA goes out of the way to do, both in their regular shows and especially on their Patreon shows. And this is conversations we've both talked about on air. You guys, if you ever hung out in chat, you've heard Shawnee say this in chat as well. And this is why I'm a big fan of Severe MMA and everything they're doing over there, is because they're not the people they're not the people you're going to hear 8 hours of fucking farcical boxing talk where we're like, oh, well, these two carnies going to hit each other in the face. How you feel about it? There's lots of emotions going around. Like, it's none of that bullshit. He might be like, oh, yeah, well, by the way, Julian Paul and everybody is fighting each other. He might address it.
JP, but yeah.
No, I'm definitely going to use the Chad Dundas bit every single time I talk about this fucking idiot. Because he's the worst, and honestly, no one should even be addressing him at all. But everybody keeps fucking addressing him, so the best thing I can do is not use his actual goddamn name. But yeah, it's a very good episode, and it's a really good example of why I like Shawnee's show. On top of that, it's just fun discussions. He also talks a lot about why he likes Bisping and Dom Cruz on commentary together, as well as...
Yeah, because they rip into each other, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, and he also talks about, like, Brendan Fitzgerald being super underrated. Like, I think so, too. I think Brendan Fitzgerald knows his place in that sport. Like, he knows he is the green guy, and so he is the dude who should be asking questions on, like, positioning and stuff. And then it sets other dudes up for, like, oh, hey, Dom Cruz, go into your 14-minute spiel on underhooks that we all want to hear again, because I love it. See, I'm the one guy who's not kidding about loving Dom Cruz talking about underhooks, but I agree, though. Iggy in chat saying DC should have choked out Jordan Paul into the sun. Then again, though, that would have hurt the entire gimmick that they staged behind the scenes for them to be able to get the very close-up cell phone video right next to it. That is so embarrassing.
An MMA person a lot of money. Not that you have to rely on some fraudulent piece of shit. But if someone's gonna body that kid, you might as well make money doing it.
So all I'm gonna say is there's been a lot more pro wrestling style antics involved in the sport, specifically with certain personalities, specifically after they started working with a certain person. Am I wrong? So you may know what person I'm talking about, or it's probably just a wild guess on my part that no one could possibly know who I'm referring to, because it's so wild.
I have an idea, but...
Does he knows?
Is he a snitch, or is he an accessory to media?
It's very fucking... It's very frustrating. Iggy making jokes in chat because he knows I'm gonna get distracted. I'm gonna stay on target, Dan Tom style on this one. All right, Chris. So yeah, overall, excellent episode from Sean Sheehan for his Q&A. Also, it looks like the Q&A is getting sponsored by the Fight Picks app, which is cool as hell as well. And
do I need to be closer to the camera?
No, you're good. Why?
Oh, just to reference your access person. You know, like I want to be access too, right? I gotta be in my face. Gotta be zoomed in.
No, you have to have long silences where you read text but don't address text, because then you know you're actually on the inside.
Oh, I'll get to that later.
So Chris, my next pick. Oh, hold on one second. I'm getting news about something. Hold on one second.
Oh no, I gotta go poop.
I got.
Yo, Chris, what are you...
Okay, so our next guest is, I think we have on the line... Fucking... Dude, that's why I stopped listening to that shit. Well, that's not why, but that's one of the
American gangster, okay?
Dude, oh my god. Yeah, the only... Yeah. It's extremely frustrating, and I can't I don't know, man. It's a whole ass thing. Anyway, I'm gonna keep on moving on before I start fucking getting mad about Triller shit. The fight site. Speaking of the fight site dudes who are always in chat, it feels like. To be fair, half my Twitter feed is just dope shit happening from the fight site anyway. So this is a show that you guys actually probably saw us tweet about because Ed Gallo on Twitter said he had one of his favorite conversations. And so you know that perked my ears up. And he said coming out Monday, which it did. Came out this last Monday, the 19th? Nope. 20th. Nope. 19th. And it is the Fight Site's episode on defining toughness in combat sports. This was Zach Bukowski, former UFC vet, of course, along with Ed Gallo hosting, and Iggy and Haxerize as well. And just a really interesting discussion on not only like general impressions of toughness and like their first experiences and what they considered toughness, but also just attempting to define it and how to differentiate it against things like durability or just kind of different situations and how to kind of define it specifically in combat sports. I thought it was a really interesting discussion. One of the most interesting things I heard was Zach Bukowski said at one point that toughness seems to be less of a characteristic of a person, but more of like a quality demonstrated in moments, which I thought was like a very like salient and sharp observation on that, because there are plenty of examples. Like they brought up guys like George St. Pierre or Uriah Faber, where like in some moments they shown insane toughness and like resolve to be able to overcome situations, but also due to like kind of it sometimes didn't react well. Like GSP tapped the strikes to Matt Hughes, which like a lot of people would say if you tap the strikes you're not tough, but like very few people would say GSP didn't display toughness throughout his career. So I thought it was a really interesting discussion. I liked it a whole bunch. I thought it was very cool, and I heard there is a part 2 coming this week. I'm not sure if it's on the same discussion or on different stuff, but I am very excited to hear more of it. And yeah, man, very interesting discussion. And that's the kind of stuff that I love the Fight Site's doing, is just having like interesting discussions about concepts that are kind of awkward to talk about out loud. Like there are moments in that episode where it's kind of like broaching that subject without being kind of corny or canned or like, you know, over like either oversimplifying or like over glorifying that kind of situation. It's very hard to ride that line. I thought they did a very good job of that, while still like just having interesting discussions about it. So highly recommend it for sure.
Oh yeah, man.
Let's see. My other catch for this week is the Eugene S. Robinson Showstomper V162. I was very close to pulling a clip from this because it was so good. Eugene is unlike anyone else in the sport. He's also just unlike almost anyone else on the planet. He's a very unique dude.
Unique. I mean, he's a G.
Yeah, I mean, very few dudes will you know that grew up in like hardcore punk scenes that also wrote for like fucking high-end magazines, that also went to Stanford, that also is like friends with or like was around the like just like super sketch fucking super sketch punk scenes in like both coasts. He's just a very unique dude and one of the more interesting people on the planet as far as I'm concerned. And he opened this episode with an insane laptop saga. Evidently someone died while working on his laptop.
Wait, like they died?
Like he showed up to get his laptop. No, like
Hey.
he showed up to get his laptop and the cops were there because he died in the middle of it.
No.
And like, yeah, it's a whole ass thing. Also, there's a lot of talk about Weidman in this episode, of course, because you figure Weidman being an ongoing saga in the Eugene S. Robinson universe, figure that had to be talked about. And then he talked about why the sport feels so, like, as good as things are, it's hard to still enjoy MMA right now because of the things happening in the background.
Yeah.
And like because you know the things that are happening in the background. Like
Once you know what's really going on, it's you can enjoy the sport for what it is. You know, once the once the referee says, all right, bring it on, come on, whatever you want to call it, everyone touches gloves. Once you really know what's going on, you just kind of almost like, what the fuck? What do we do from here?
When Eugene loves using the analogy of sausages on plates, and he keeps using the analogy of this, like he's like, at this point he's using the analogy that Dana White at this point has so many sausages that he can't even see the plate, so the sausages have no meaning anymore. Like so, there's all these hungry fighters, but Dana White has so many sausages on his plate that like feeding a single sausage to a fighter doesn't actually mean anything as a gesture because the sausages don't mean anything to him. And he described watching the UFC. It's a very, very, very aggressive comparison, but something that really made me think. He compared it. He's like, listen, were the fights absolutely awesome, and was everything very good during the entire event? Absolutely. Was there still a gross feeling in the background? Absolutely. And so he compares it. He's like, I went to Auschwitz. There's a cafe in Auschwitz. You can get a sandwich. I had the sandwich at Auschwitz. It's a perfectly good sandwich. Would I say I had a good lunch at Auschwitz? No. Because there's 12 million dead people I'm eating the sandwich on top of. It doesn't, no matter how good the sandwich is, still not that great a lunch. And I thought that was a very, like, it's a very Eugene S. Robinson style comparison. But boy, there's notes of that sure ring true. And then he closed out the episode, which 100% made it a catch for me, which is he brought up the idea that he's like, everybody notice? Yeah, Iggy, you 100% should be listening to the Eugene S. Robinson Show Stomper. Because the other thing he brought up in this episode is he asked, he's like, anybody notice that like at this point the fans in Florida and the UFC have become kind of like synonymous. They're kind of the same thing at this point, because if Dana's attracting that type of fan that was in the building in Florida, and anybody notice the moments they chose to chant USA in that building? Because it wasn't for every American fighter. It sure wasn't for every American fighter. It was for certain fighters that were American. And, and so, yeah, the Eugene S. Robinson Show Stomper, V162. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Eugene is an underrated voice in the sport. And holy shit, was that episode, like, he will 100% use extreme comparisons, and he's very much like, he's such a writer that he uses analogies throughout every episode. That's kind of the bit of that show, is he has wild stories that are half the time about World War II, and then he ties it back into the UFC, and that's kind of how that show goes, and I fucking love him for it. But yeah, it's absolutely worth listening to, and I highly recommend it.
Fuck yeah.
Let's see, Chris, I think you listened to both of my Can't Miss episodes this week, which is going to sound weirdly reminiscent of my Can't Miss episodes last week. I will start off with our... You know what? I guess I'll start off with our intro this week, which was the Combat Sports News Recap for April 24th, 2021, which was, shouts to Iggy in chat, the show that he hosts. And the intro was him talking about... thank you, dear leader Dana White, for not allowing all the pussies to run things in Florida, and being a real man in the face of adversity. It's a fucking great episode. Chris, you listen to this, right?
I listened to a little bit of it, a good chunk of it in general, and yes, I parrot the sentiment of what we got across in the episode. It was fantastic.
For sure. He also talks a bit about the hashtag Mads Lads over at the fight site, because you know they'd be repping Mads Burnell super hard over there.
Yep.
Whitaker versus Gastelum. He talks about being a dire fucking card, which it absolutely was. That card, the main event was super solid, but the rest of that card was pretty goddamn rough. He talks about Whitaker putting on a case study and how to win a fight with superior ring craft, which I thought was a very it's definitely one of the things that I haven't heard. I've heard brought up the least in across the board. Probably is the actual footwork, just because Whitaker was. Well, I've heard footwork brought up a lot, but just the specific examples Iggy gave, I thought were super solid. He also talks about Stevens injuring Close and then Dana blaming Sean Shelby, a.k.a. Keith, which I thought was pretty goddamn funny. Dylan Dennis keeps saying stupid shit, which go figure.
Yeah, he goes to fucking idiot.
Yeah, almost as dumb as Dana White, who keeps saying that the media is going crazy about COVID.
Media's fake, bro. Las Vegas, Nevada Journal, Northwest Journal, whatever the fuck they're called.
That's right, and I have
bro.
Chris, I have a very hot take for our second segment where we recap
They're only doing their
UFC.
job objectively, bro, but I don't like what they have to say, bro, so they're fucking fake.
100%. Also, I have a very interesting take on Dana White that I think nobody else on the planet has that we will get in. If you guys saw our tweet about this episode, we will get into that in the second segment on the recap. But Chris, I don't know if you know anything about the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, but I have some hot takes for the second segment.
Oh, I've heard that song by Metallica. I'm kidding.
Okay, yeah,
It's a
that
joke.
checks
No,
out.
I
That
know
checks
about the
out.
Forest.
Yeah, I know you've seen Lord of the Rings. I get it, you fucker.
A double joke.
Let's see. Oh my God. Yeah, Iggy found out about the Jair Rosenstrike versus Sakai matchup, which that was real solid. And then he talks a little bit about what on TNT4. He does say in chat that there was a little bit of a delay in the editing on that one, so that's why it came out, I believe, on Saturday. But yeah, super solid episode, and I absolutely loved it. That's becoming a must listen for me every week, just because Iggy's fucking hilarious, and also super informative. Like, there's a lot of fights that get talked about in that I'm like, all right, I should go back and watch some stuff in one, or I should go back and watch fucking John Lineker murder a guy, that kind of stuff, you know. And then my can't miss for this week, my other can't miss is Protect Your Neck, episode 275, which. That's wrong. It's 257. I wrote that down wrong. Oh, God. No, I'm having a panic attack. It's Protect Your Neck 257. I'm almost positive. I will look this up while we are talking. Anyway, Dan Tom had an absolutely excellent episode breaking down UFC 261. It is episode 257. So, yeah, just a great episode. He also, in the intro, plays the Unseen's No Master Race, which... Like, me and Dan Tom are kindred spirits. I don't know if you guys can see on Twitter the fucking bromance me and Dan Tom got going on, but we are very much kindred spirits. You guys saw him drop in chat last week and ask for some Sloppy Second songs, which then just led to me listening to a bunch of Sloppy Second songs all week. But yeah, it was a goddamn blast. But yeah, it's just a great episode, and it's really, a lot of this episode, at least in the intro, talks about just how disappointed Dan was and how the media handled all the Rose stuff. And just either them not addressing it or them addressing it insanely negatively. And just kind of how frustrating that was to listen to, or to have people like in his fucking responses that are then the same week asking him for shit or asking him questions when they're like, I mean, I get being... I don't... Okay, that's not fair, because I don't get it. I don't... Like, it's one thing if you want to act oblivious. It's another thing to, like, go full ostrich head in the sand on shit. And, like, it's very frustrating that... I mean, Chris, how much have you seen from MMA media talking about Asian hate crimes? Anything?
If I'm completely honest, it's besides Dan Tom, respectively discussing.
Like, has even Brett Okamoto tweeted anything out, for fuck's sake?
No, and that's what's sad, because Brett Okamoto is really just.
Well, and I've seen like
head. He's a media piece,
and I only point to Brett Okamoto because Brett, like, the obvious Asian thing because he's Asian, that's a kind of a cop out on my part.
he's
but also,
Japanese.
there are plenty of MMA people who I do see tweeting. So, I mean, Fernanda, of course, and like the people who you would think would be responsible adults who care about other people have been tweeting stuff. But there's been a lot of people who are like big loud this summer about shit.
There's a
and
lot of
real
motherfuckers
quiet.
who are at the forefront. And they have every opportunity to actually put this on their platform, their broadcast, whatever you want to call it. At the forefront, they are there in the front fucking lines, and they decide to just step to the side because it's not important to them and doesn't fit their necessary,
Well, it doesn't make them. It
let's
doesn't.
call it, agenda.
It's not easy
It's
PR.
fucked. And yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't want to do that. Maybe sometimes they just do it, They decide to not do it reluctantly because they don't want it to go against what they are trying to go along with. And I understand that, but at the same time, you gotta honestly just go with objectivity at this point. You really have to just go with your moral compass. Fuck what your boss says. Fuck with what everyone else is going with the status quo. You just go with what you really think.
You know what? Honestly,
I know sometimes that kind of really forms your moral character, and and sometimes that really kind of, unfortunately, in the journalism industry, dictates where you go with your career, which is fucked because that's not what you signed up for. That's
but
my point, and
also
that's all
if you care about journalism as a career and you actually gave a fuck about the industry you wanted to be in, you would have a voice instead of having a PR opinion.
Exactly.
Which is why journalism is kind of fucking broken, especially in MMA. And you know what? Iggy actually has another great point in chat, which is that white people, because I'm going to say it like he wrote it, because it's my favorite, they can only handle one racism bad at a time. We barely got them to care about black people. Make them care about one more race will break their brain. It's kind of not wrong, dude. Not wrong. Because eventually, then, if enough of that happens, then they have to start coming to the realization that, oh shit, also, there's a class difference in all these in situations. And oh shit, that's also part of the racism is the inherent class differences. And oh shit, maybe we should... Has anybody learned about the French Revolution, is what I'm asking? Has anybody ever heard of Marie Antoinette? Is my question. I forget who started doing that recently on a podcast, but I'm a big fan of whoever did it. Because it was somebody I did not expect. Might have been oh man. Might have been Billy Wayne Davis. I can't remember. Anyway, very funny. Yeah. So anyway, back to Protect Your Neck. Dan brought up how disappointed he is in the media's response, and then he goes into Dan Tom's hardcore history, I believe is what it was, or Dan Tom, I think that's what he phrased it as. But he had a brief discussion on the history of Jewish people in Lithuania, and how, as we talked a little bit about last week, he goes more in depth on how did I not say Marie Antoinette? Did I say Marie Laveau?
A little bit.
Did I say Marie Laveau? The fucking
No, you
voodoo
said
queen?
Antoinette.
Okay, good. I said Antoinette. Wait. I
Same
said
shit.
Antoinette, right? I said okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Antoinette,
yeah.
you're right.
No, I said some fucking.
You're like Antoinette.
yeah. I'm sure I did. I'm fucking. New Orleans forever broke me on how to pronounce French things. Shout out to Macy Chasson, which should be not that. Anyway, Dan talked about the history in Lithuania of Jewish people being persecuted, and how a lot of Lithuania, when Rose talks about, they chose, they fought communism. It's like, yeah, they fought communism by joining the Nazis. So let's be real light with the phrasing of all that. Yeah. Oh no, Iggy, 100% quoting Super Fire. I believe the quote is "Let them eat cock," according to Iggy and chat. Nailing it, bruh. I love having Iggy in chat. I hope he's drinking something at 9 a.m. in the fields. Let's see, where were we at? Dan also talks about shit like Kill Howley Day in Hawaii, which any white dudes in Hawaii know a bit about that. Although luckily it's less of a thing nowadays, I've heard. But I mean, even I know dudes like my buddy Gio when he was there back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I want to say. He was still dealing with some of that shit. Because Hawaii is a crazy goddamn place, especially depending on where you're at. And Dan talks a lot about just some of the other frustrating things. Is like so much of the MMA space uses Asian culture in not only their graphics, but their theming, their naming, everything. But then they say absolutely fucking nothing about Stop Asian Hate, which is really frustrating to hear. And, yeah, man. It's something that, like, I only noticed light amounts of it because, of course, I'm not, as a fucking white dude, I'm rarely affected personally by these things. So, like, I try to be aware of this stuff, but it's hard to know without hearing other people's personal. You're like, oh shit, that is way fucked up, and just because it didn't register with me, I wouldn't have thought about it. But yeah, now that you pointed out, that's terrible the way they went about that. And so a lot of that I think is just, man, it's just having these discussions in public and everybody kind of just trying to be more understanding of each other. Yeah, I think is what all this comes down to. Dan Tom also in that episode has an awesome recap of or awesome preview rather of UFC 261, and he also does preview a little bit of the Whitaker Gastelum card. And we have a clip that we'll play on the break that I don't really want to spoil about. That he talks about Weili Zhang in a very interesting and informative way, in a way I hadn't really thought about it, but it's definitely worth hearing. So, I don't know. We need more voices like Dan in the sport, and we need more diverse voices in the sport, because this is how we all learn and grow and act like fucking adults going forward. And the reason we're in these kinds of positions in situations is because there's too many fucking of the same people making the only voices and decisions in the space. And it's not doing anybody any fucking good. It's hurting everybody in the long run, so... That's me being preachy, and I'm getting it out the way. But I absolutely love Protect Your Neck, episode 257. If Dan Tom stops doing that show, I'm going to start a petition every single week where our sponsor every week is going to be Dan Tom starting up the Protect Your Neck podcast again. So, look forward to that if he does take a break, because I swear to God, that's going to be a thing. All right, and on that note, Chris, I do have a news show this week that I'm curious for your take on. So this is not really an MMA podcast, it's MMA podcast adjacent. And it is, the Fight Site has a new video series called Painting and Fighting. And Julian Lung, one of the dudes who writes for the Fight Site, he now has he's doing a series where he paints miniatures and talks about professional fighting. So for the first episode, he painted a Warhammer 40k, a Tyranid Hormigons, I believe is how it's pronounced.
So like someone with a giant hammer or sword?
No, it's like a 40k. It's kind of like a raptor looking kind of thing almost.
Because I've heard of that series. I imagine it's like people in giant suits of armor with like giant swords or hammers.
But it's like also kind of alien-y, like reptile-y kind of thing going too. So like it's somewhere, it's like somewhere space alien adjacent, something like that. I don't know. I'm not a big Warhammer person. Most of the shit I know about Warhammer is from like the fucking video games that have almost nothing to do with Warhammer. So it's a space bug, says Iggy in chat. Perfect. I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines. Yeah, nailed it. But yeah, he basically he paints those split screen while talking about some of the fights for 261, like Usman versus Masvidal and stuff like that. And dude, I fucking loved it. I thought it was a very unique concept. It's super calming. I don't know if anybody's ever seen anybody paint miniatures. I don't fuck with miniatures. I'm not a Gundam guy. I don't fuck with any of that stuff. But a lot of the people who are into that are very like just calm and like mellow dudes who want just like a calm, mellow vibe. And this is 100% that while talking fights. I really thought it was cool. And I dig it. So I will absolutely be watching more of that going forward. I'm into those kind of weird kind of mashups that we don't see a lot of, I feel like, in this sport as compared to a lot of other sports, you know? So, cool to see. Chris, you have any honorable mentions you wanted to throw out there?
Yeah, well, I guess not. I guess I lied. I guess not honorable mentions for MMA stuff.
Yeah, well-rounded stuff here in a minute.
Yeah, I do.
Cool. I'll rattle through a couple of my honorable mentions then. Also, Iggy says you're about to die. No, this is what happens when we get Chris high and while he's drinking. That's the problem.
Oh no, see, I'm really happy right now, but I can't tell you until later before we end because I don't want to distract everyone. So
There we go. Well, evidently, there about to be some news on that.
I
Chris
do
is doing that classic teasing off news,
Oh no,
off air
like,
stuff.
I'll just say this spoiler: you won't give a fuck. But like, my point is, I need a beer, so it's like
There we go. Well, here, I'll burn through this very quickly then. Jack Slack podcast,
Very
episode
good.
23 and 24 were super solid. Man, yeah. There decent amount of Triller talk, but also a good amount of 261 talk. And talk about how Whitaker beat Kelvin. CME episode 449, super solid. Ben talks about getting his house broken into and the Triller farce.
Jesus, in Montana,
Yeah. It was during the Triller card.
I generally feel bad for him. That's
Well,
unfortunate.
nobody was home at the time. But, like, some
So,
crazy lady
like-
broke in and stole his hockey jersey and then, like, tried to walk out with it on backwards like she was just chilling.
Okay,
It's a crazy story. It's worth listening
besides a hockey jersey being stolen, there wasn't like any valuables.
to. No, like, because she was just
Okay,
on the
see,
run.
that's what I was afraid of. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought like all of his some sort of whatever valuables. I don't know.
No,
what
but
the-
evidently she
you
made
know,
it all the way down near like all the Pride like stuff and like the fucking Affliction shirts. But she happened to grab a hockey jersey of all things.
That's
So,
actually amazing.
yeah, it's definitely worth going back and listening
guess
to.
that it's like his adult hockey league jersey.
Yeah, it
So,
100% is.
that's
Dude, it
professional.
100% is. He had to go get
That's
it to
amazing.
play. Yeah.
Okay, now that makes it 10 times.
It's
more
very
fun.
funny, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, speaking of CME, the Power Hour for April 23rd was really solid as well. It was a supersized power rankings with 17 items, aka a ship captain's dozen, which Chad made up. Or Ben made up. One of the two of them. I don't know. I think it was Chad. But I do like the phrase a ship captain's dozen being 17. I'm going to start using that for no goddamn reason. Yeah, everything from Masvidal still walking around with the BMF belt to Florida being the oasis of freedom to the Game Bred Fighting Championships and Rob Broughton being an enforcer. So, wild episode. Heavy Hands, episode 365 was super solid. The Level Change podcast, episode 120 was awesome. Vic has the best ad reads ever right now. His Amazon ad read in this episode is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. Oh, that Vic was the one who brought up Marie Antoinette this week because he was like, during the French Revolution, people like there was an uprising and led to a lot of people, and also led to the use of the guillotine. And that leads to our sponsor this week, Amazon. It's the fucking best ad read of all time. It's very solid. Yeah. I highly recommend going and listening to it. Severe May, episode 308. He did a much better job than I did, obviously. Fucking recapping it with no notes while I'm buzzed. Severe May, episode 308. Super solid. MMA ratings, episode 201, I really liked. Best Camp in My Life, episode 26, was all about the shit that annoys us in MMA. That was a fun one. The Weekly Scraps episode, for April 22nd, 2021. It's a lot about Jesus Christ, about Aljamain Sterling, not Al Quinta, Aljamain Sterling recovering and doing physical therapy. And he talks about 261. And Coast to Coast Combat Hour for UFC 261. They talk about UFC 261 Fight Week and Matt Hawkins going to the card and then coming back to San Diego. So Matt Hawkins, please stay in your house for the next 2 weeks. Don't fucking kill everybody. And so, yeah, that is my notes for this. So we are going to take a break very briefly, and then we're going to be back to briefly talk this UFC 261 card. So I think it's going to be a blast. Chris, you going to drink some coffee or something on the break?
Oh no, I'm gonna have some more beer. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah,
go,
buddy.
boy.
Let's go. All right, well.
Smoke some more flower.
Yeah, hopefully not the indica. All
What
right.
do you mean? I'm kidding.
Well, we'll be right back to talk that. And in the meantime, you guys can listen to Dan Tom discuss why Weili Zhang is so rare in this sport and why she should be celebrated, not fucking demonized by white people in fucking advantageous positions. God damn it. So, yeah. check out this clip, and we will be right back.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Like all the horoscopes, oh, this person's going to be feisty if they were born in that year. Well, the Chinese have their own version of that. And if you're born in the year of the tiger, surprise, surprise, tiger is associated with aggression, as in martial arts as well as Asian culture, right? So you're going to have a strong personality. That's fine. That's looked at as a plus if you're a male. Firstborn Chinese boy tiger, oh boy, that'll be celebrated. But if you were born in the year of tiger, your ass got drowned in the fucking river a lot of the times, folks. Like, it's so hard, even for like the Jet Lis or the Jackie Chans of the world, to make themselves stand out in a country and government that is designed to assimilate you just as one person, for you to have no face. And as you can see clearly, when you're lucky enough to make it out of there, akin to, spoiler alert, the ending to the original Night of the Living Dead, right? The black guy, the main character, he makes it out of fucking hell just to get shot by the outside world, right? That's what I feel like watching Wei Li Zhang make it out of fucking China, only to get shot by we got another one, folks. Better dead than red. And not realizing, like, what the fucking odds are of a Chinese person, much less a Chinese athlete, much less a Chinese woman athlete, to make it this far. You know how fucking crazy that is, mind-blowing that is, with Asia, China specifically, their culture toward women? And for her to be doing what she's doing, to even have the freedom just to have a dog and love martial arts and pursue what she wants to do, like, that's fucking rare, folks.
by the sound of violence.
Like all the horoscopes, oh, this person's going to be feisty if they were born in that year. Well, the Chinese have their own version of that. And if you're born in the year of the tiger, surprise, surprise, tiger is associated with aggression, as in martial arts as well as Asian culture, right? So you're going to have a strong personality. That's fine. That's looked at as a plus if you're a male. Firstborn Chinese boy tiger, oh boy, that'll be celebrated. But if you were born in the year of tiger, your ass got drowned in the fucking river a lot of the times, folks. Like, It's so hard, even for like the Jet Lis or the Jackie Chans of the world, to make themselves stand out in a country and government that is designed to assimilate you just as one person, for you to have no face. And as you can see clearly, when you're lucky enough to make it out of there, akin to, spoiler alert, the ending to the original Night of the Living Dead, right? The black guy, the main character, he makes it out of fucking hell just to get shot by the outside world, right? That's what I feel like watching Wei Li Zhang make it out of fucking China, only to get shot by we got another one, folks. Better dead than red. And not realizing, like, what the fucking odds are of a Chinese person, much less a Chinese athlete, much less a Chinese woman athlete, to make it this far. You know how fucking crazy that is, mind-blowing that is, with Asia, China specifically, their culture toward women? And for her to be doing what she's doing, to even have the freedom just to have a dog and love martial arts and pursue what she wants to do, like, that's fucking rare, folks.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Like all the horoscopes, you know, oh, this person's going to be feisty if they were born in that year. Well, the Chinese have their own version of that. And if you're born in the year of the tiger, you know, surprise, surprise, tiger is associated with aggression, as in martial arts as well as Asian culture, right? So you're going to have a strong personality. That's fine. That's looked at as a plus if you're a male. Firstborn Chinese boy tiger, oh boy, that'll be celebrated. But if you were born in the year of tiger as your ass got drowned in the fucking river a lot of the times, folks. Like, it's so hard, even for like the Jet Lis or the Jackie Chans of the world, to make themselves stand out in a country and government that is designed to assimilate you just as one person, for you to have no face. And as you can see clearly, when you're lucky enough to make it out of there, akin to, spoiler alert, the ending to the original Night of the Living Dead, right? The black guy, the main character, he makes it out of fucking hell just to get shot by the outside world, right? That's what I feel like watching Wei Li Zhang make it out of fucking China, only to get shot by we got another one, folks. Better dead than red. And not realizing, like, what the fucking odds are of a Chinese person, much less a Chinese athlete, much less a Chinese woman athlete, to make it this far. You know how fucking crazy that is, mind-blowing that is, with Asia, China specifically, their culture toward women, and for her to be doing what she's doing, to even have the freedom just to have a dog and love martial arts and pursue what she wants to do, like, that's fucking rare, folks.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Like all the horoscopes, you know, oh, this person's going to be feisty if they were born in that year. Well, the Chinese have their own version of that. And if you're born in the year of the tiger, you know, surprise, surprise, tiger is associated with aggression, as in martial arts as well as Asian culture, right? So you're going to have a strong personality. That's fine. That's looked at as a plus if you're a male. Firstborn Chinese boy tiger, oh boy, that'll be celebrated. But if you were born in the year of tiger, your ass got drowned in the fucking river a lot of the times, folks. Like, it's so hard, even for like the Jet Lis or the Jackie Chans of the world, to make themselves stand out in a country and government that is designed to assimilate you just as one person, for you to have no face. And as you can see clearly, when you're lucky enough to make it out of there, akin to, spoiler alert, the ending to the original Night of the Living Dead, right? The black guy, the main character, he makes it out of fucking hell just to get shot by the outside world, right? That's what I feel like watching Wei Li Zhang make it out of fucking China, only to get shot by we got another one, folks. Better dead than red. And not realizing, like, what the fucking odds are of a Chinese person, much less a Chinese athlete, much less a Chinese woman athlete, to make it this far. You know how fucking crazy that is, mind-blowing that is, with Asia, China specifically, their culture toward women, and for her to be doing what she's doing, to even have the freedom just to have a dog and love martial arts and pursue what she wants to do, like, that's fucking rare, folks.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Like all the horoscopes, oh, this person's going to be feisty if they were born in that year. Well, the Chinese have their own version of that. And if you're born in the year of the tiger, surprise, surprise, tiger is associated with aggression, as in martial arts as well as Asian culture, right? So you're going to have a strong personality. That's fine. That's looked at as a plus if you're a male. Firstborn Chinese boy tiger, oh boy, that'll be celebrated. But if you were born in the year of tiger, your ass got drowned in the fucking river a lot of the times, folks. Like, it's so hard, even for like the Jet Lis or the Jackie Chans of the world, to make themselves stand out in a country and government that is designed to assimilate you just as one person, for you to have no face. And as you can see clearly, when you're lucky enough to make it out of there, akin to, spoiler alert, the ending to the original Night of the Living Dead, right? The black guy, the main character, he makes it out of fucking hell just to get shot by the outside world, right? That's what I feel like watching Wei Li Zhang make it out of fucking China, only to get shot by we got another one, folks, better dead than red, and not realizing like what the fucking odds are of a Chinese person, much less a Chinese athlete, much less a Chinese woman athlete, to make it this far. You know how fucking crazy that is, mind-blowing that is, with Asia, China specifically, their culture toward women, and for her to be doing what she's doing, to even have the freedom just to have a dog and love martial arts and pursue what she wants to do, like, that's fucking rare, folks.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Like all the horoscopes, oh, this person's going to be feisty if they were born in that year. Well, the Chinese have their own version of that. And if you're born in the year of the tiger, Surprise, surprise, tiger is associated with aggression, as in martial arts as well as Asian culture, right? So you're going to have a strong personality. That's fine. That's looked at as a plus if you're a male. Firstborn Chinese boy tiger, oh boy, that'll be celebrated. But if you were born in the year a tiger is your ass got drowned in the fucking river a lot of the times, folks. Like, it's so hard, even for like the Jet Lis or the Jackie Chans of the world, to make themselves stand out in a country and government that is designed to assimilate you just as one person for you to have no face. And as you can see clearly, when you're lucky enough to make it out of there, akin to, spoiler alert, the ending to the original Night of the Living Dead, right? The black guy, the main character, he makes it out of fucking hell just to get shot by the outside world, right? That's what I feel like watching Wei Li Zhang make it out of fucking China, only to get shot by... We got another one, folks! Better dead than red! And not realizing, like, what the fucking odds are of a Chinese person, much less a Chinese athlete, much less a Chinese woman athlete, to make it this far. You know how fucking crazy that is, mind-blowing that is, with Asia, China specifically, their culture toward women? And for her to be doing what she's doing, to even have the freedom just to have a dog and love martial arts and pursue what she wants to do, like, that's fucking rare, folks.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Like all the horoscopes, oh, this person's going to be feisty if they were born in that year. Well, the Chinese have their own version of that. And if you're born in the year of the tiger, surprise, surprise, tiger is associated with aggression, as in martial arts as well as Asian culture, right? So you're going to have a strong personality. That's fine. That's looked at as a plus if you're a male. Firstborn Chinese boy tiger, oh boy, that'll be celebrated. But if you were born in the year a tiger is your ass got drowned in the fucking river a lot of the times, folks. Like, it's so hard, even for like the Jet Lis or the Jackie Chans of the world, to make themselves stand out in a country and government that is designed to assimilate you just as one person for you to have no face. And as you can see clearly, when you're lucky enough to make it out of there, akin to, spoiler alert, the ending to the original Night of the Living Dead, right? The black guy, the main character, he makes it out of fucking hell just to get shot by the outside world, right? That's what I feel like watching Wei Li Zhang make it out of fucking China, only to get shot by. We got another one, folks. Better dead than red. And not realizing like what the fucking odds are of a Chinese person, much less a Chinese athlete, much less a Chinese woman athlete, to make it this far. You know how fucking crazy that is, mind-blowing that is, with Asia, China specifically, their culture toward women, and for her to be doing what she's doing, to even have the freedom just to have a dog and love martial arts and pursue what she wants to do, like, that's fucking rare, folks.
All right, everyone, we're back.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we back, and we back, and we back, and we back.
We are back.
Even better than I was the last time, baby.
Yeah, we are back.
Shout out to Chance the Rapper.
I haven't heard. Is he doing it right?
I don't know. I heard mixed things. I was talking about the Acid mixtape. I have not been keeping up on it recently.
Well, shouts out to Chance the Rapper. I hope he's doing okay for an independent artist. You know, shouts out to those
I'm
guys.
sure he's getting fucked by white people.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's a shame.
But I heard if he has one more label tries to stop him, there's going to be some dreadhead dudes in the lobby.
Heard to that. What we are here to talk about, though, is the recap of UFC 261, which took place, as the time we're recording, about 24 hours ago.
Yeah, about that.
About 27 hours ago.
Yeah, I think the main event was about 24. But although before we start that, Chris, very quickly, we should go through our well-rounded picks, which we forgot to get to. So anything well-rounded you want to recommend? I guess starting with Cookies La Mesa, probably, right?
Yes, Cookies La Mesa is the dispensary. I haven't been to dispensary in over a year because my brother has been growing some fantastic flower. You know.
Speaking of which, I still need to talk to him about his setup. Yeah,
you want to call it. Don't know if the camera zoomed in or it needs to, but this shirt I'm wearing, it says Cookies San Diego. It is the San Diego Padres swinging fryer.
It's the smoking fryer.
It is a motherfucking joint, and he is token. And I represent my hat greatly because the Padres took 3 out of 4 from the stupid asshole Los Angeles Dodgers this week. Yeah.
The Doyers.
Yeah, the Padres won 3 out of 4. It was great. Fuck them. Anyways, I went to Cookies. They had a nice little deal. And this was, besides after getting the shirt, I am a person who likes to smoke till I sleep. So I got an indica called Caked Up Cherries, if you can read that or see that. Something like that. Nice little packaging. It is Outco, right? Is that the...
Yep, Outco, which is, I believe, I'm pretty positive they are a shop out of El Cajon that actually grows, like, at least somewhere in East County, from what I understand. I don't know if they grow inside the shop or if they have a separate warehouse or something, but definitely heard the name, and I'm curious. Yeah, I might have to pick up some Alco stuff because I didn't know. I actually looked them up when I heard you got them. I didn't know they were actually growing here locally because there's not a lot of shops here that do that. There's like them and Urban Leaf and a couple other hole in the wall places do, but a lot of places like March and Ash are just selling other people's flower. They're not actually growing in house.
Hey, so if you're wondering why I'm pretty stoned, I have not tried the indica yet. I actually have tried the free sample they gave me based on the 8th deal. It's called Eagle Scout. This is solid. So they even show on the back. It's
got to be some kind of cookie variation, right?
Yeah, THC is 20.3 to CBD 0.
Does it say it's strain cross on it? Did you see the word cookies anywhere on it?
No, I do not.
Okay, because I would almost guarantee if it's Eagle Scout, it's got to be some kind of cookies, like Girl Scout cookies cross. I would put money on it.
Oh no, 1,000% it's got to be what it is. But
Yeah.
I think this is a hybrid indica dominant because like I'm alert, but I'm also kind of tired. So like I'm not like super slumped.
And one thing that I think a lot of people don't know nowadays, if you're not smoking weed regularly within the last five-ish to 10-ish years, everything's a hybrid now. There are really no true indicas or sativas.
That's what the guy at the
because everything's such a cross of everything else. There is no like true, because essentially it has to be one of like 20 strains for it to be a true sativa or indica, because anything else is going to be a cross of too many other things. So most of the time you're getting either a sativa dominant or indica dominant, and even then nowadays people are starting to realize a lot of that actually comes down to terpenes, which is the smell you get off of it. So certain smells, like if you get a very lemony or very piney, like pine solly kind of smell off of a weed, that a lot of times is going to be your really like sativa-y, like hyper strains. Whereas if you get more like musty, well, even musty actually could be more the haze, but if you get more like the purple or the fruity notes, or like the some of like the danker, like skunky notes, those will be more of the heavy indicas. Gas, like those will be more of the stuff that'll actually be like more of a slow. So people a lot of times nowadays are starting to figure out that like very little of it is actually a lot more of it has to do with the terpenes, and like the smell will tell you a lot more about it than anything, which is interesting. That's very recent. Like people within the last 5-10 years have figured that out. So it's pretty crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, but anyway, you also mentioned Helix Brewing, which we talked a bit about that you wanted to shout out. Is there anything else that you wanted to give a shout out to?
Yeah. Helix Brewing, 100%. Go check them out if you're in La Mesa or near El Cajon or any part of East County, San Diego County.
Yeah, they're definitely on my list. I'm gonna go check them out next time I'm out there.
I enjoyed them a lot. Other than that, the only thing I got to shout out is MLB The Show 21 is fantastic.
Yeah.
When the servers are working, that is. They've had a lot of server issues. People wonder why. Well, they just did involve everyone on Xbox is destroying the servers because that's like ×2 or ×3 really.
Well, because they give it to everybody Xbox, with Game Pass.
They've never had they basically haven't had a baseball game since MLB 2K like 12, which is like forever ago, and it's like no shit they want to play a baseball game.
You
because
literally
Madden,
got
EA are terrible, NHL is terrible. Anything EA is garbage.
I was gonna say you literally got a PlayStation so you could play the show at one point a while back, right?
At one point, and God of War. I remember someone's like, "Why'd you get PS4?" I'm like, "God of War on the show." I'm like,
literally,
fair. Yeah, that's fair. And then the fact that it runs at 4K 60 frames and it's like any sports game should be, I'm like, yeah, this game's amazing. Yeah, like when I swing the bat, it's like smooth as butter.
Yeah,
it's great.
It actually feels like
when I throw a
game.
cut fastball, you see it go, and I'm like, yeah, that's right, you're fucking sweet. You know what I mean? Though it's like you need to be able to see that. It's like, hell yeah, like it's worth it. So, it's dope. That game's fucking dope. And once they fix the servers, yada yada yada. Other than that, the only game I got to shout out. I played this game, I think already 6-7 years ago. My brother Kyle, this is his favorite game to play regardless of being sober or not. It's called Chivalry. They finally just came out with Chivalry 2.
What?
I bought it and played. I am playing the closed beta since I pre-ordered.
You're just hacking limbs off?
Yeah, man, it's crazy being in like the full 4K 60 frames because like the responsiveness of like other people being way better than me. So like half the time I just drag this giant halberd across and maybe kill some people, but more than half the time it's like everyone just stabbing me at once and dying, and I'm not even mad because it looks hilarious. And
dude, that game is goofy as hell. Yeah,
I'll just grab my weapon and just throw it at someone and stab them right in the face, and they die, and then it's fun. It's so fucking fun.
Yeah, if you guys don't know about Chivalry, it's essentially it's very much like a kind of a semi.
It's Monty Python, but like people die.
Right. If you were to like do like a simulation version of Monty Python meets Counter-Strike, it's somewhere like combination of those things, right?
That's very fair.
Right, like it's kind of like a blend of those three concepts, and it's very stupid but very fun. Like it's especially in groups, it's great. Yeah.
If you play with a group of people, it is It's just good. It's just a good fucking time. So.
Yeah, man, that's tight as hell for sure. I guess some of my honorable mentions: Skater XL. I've just been playing a fuckload of this. As soon as this thing gets, dude, as soon as this thing gets the online access for console, I'm gonna have to have you pick it up so we can start session this shit, bruh.
That'd be funny. Be like, hey, dude, just follow me, baby.
Dog, we'll put out some videos of us sessions and stuff for sure. But yeah, Skater XL is tight as fuck. It's honestly the only game I'm playing right now. I'm not gonna lie, I might start making Skater XL video edits at some point. I'm playing enough of that game to where I'm starting to record some clips. So we'll see. No promises, and it won't be on this channel. Trust me, I'll start some fucking fake skate channel and do it on there. But I don't know. The other thing is, Chris, something we need to shout out that we have not shouted out yet. Channel 5.
Yep.
That's Zaza.
So, I believe his name is Andrew McCoglin. I think is his last name.
Yeah. Also, Chris, I do have that Zaza. I did buy that Zaza.
Oh.
Look at that. That's that Zaza.
I can't see it from whatever you're showing right now, but it's not on camera.
It'll eventually focus. I swear to God. Focus, you fuck.
I just see your hand, but
I
either way, I'll
know.
see that. I'll see it when I actually watch
Oh,
the
wait.
video.
It's over there.
Oh, there you go.
That's Zaza.
Now you can see it.
Yeah. No, I
Shout out
literally...
to Andrew from the formerly known as
All Gas, No
We do
Brakes.
not mention that fake channel now because he got
No,
fucked on
fuck
his
that
contract.
channel.
By the way, he did acknowledge it was a whole, oh, wait, I didn't read this part of the contract, which every young adult does. The dude's only about 23,
Well,
24.
and it's also, they like specifically fucked him in a pretty gross way, too, the way they went about it.
This kid's smart. He's a journalist, whether you want to call him a citizen journalist or just a journalism is journalism. The kid is going out and
Dude, I would call him more of a journalist than anybody in MMA, or just about anybody.
The ironic thing people don't even realize, like,
Minnesota
as far
stuff
as
he's
the
done?
goofy coverage he has, he is still following the ethics of journalism.
Well,
He
dude,
is not. There's no bias.
he's not injecting himself in the story.
Nope.
He's doing
just
everything
like,
by the
all right,
book.
why do you think this? And they're like,
Also, not
I
really.
think this because just like
Yeah.
whatever ridiculous answer you get, he's just like this. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like, yo, what are you smoking? She's like, we smoking that Zaza. Oh, by the way, speaking of that Zaza, that shit. Oh my God, everything looks like trash on here. I swear to God, this nug is much bigger and more purple than it looks on. Hey, look at that. It for once focused, so now my face is forever going to be out of focus. That's great. Look at that. Look at how fuzzy I am. I'm a fuzzy boy. Hey, for once this thing fucking focused. I might have figured out the secret to this, Chris.
But yeah, shouts out to Andrew.
Channel 5 on YouTube. It's absolutely the best.
Channel 5 on YouTube, Channel 5 on Instagram. If you prefer this,
He's the man.
But yeah, this dude is awesome.
Also, he's doing like real ass coverage. We talk about his goofy coverage that he does in like places like Florida during the fucking spring break and stuff like that.
My favorite
But
was the Alabama.
the Minneapolis. Well, yeah. Oh, dude, and the fucking what's the one where everybody kept yelling, "Show me your butthole"? The fucking it's one of the Tallahassee.
Yeah,
Something like that. One of the race events.
It was like the rocket launch or Talladega.
Talladega. Might have been Talladega.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's a bunch of "Show me your butthole." That was a pretty fun one. But anyway, honestly, he's done some incredible fucking interviews though. Actually, in Minneapolis, both back the first time around and then during the George Floyd verdict and all that stuff.
Speaking of the verdict, did you see he was on the cover of like the Minneapolis Star?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He was like he had his microphone out, had like his face mask. And he was there. You see just a very happy and uplifted group of just people that you know, with all ethics and morals going in life, you should be very happy with the verdict of that trial. That should never have been a thing for real things in life. So,
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so shouts out to Andrew.
Yeah, no, and shouts out to everything that guy's doing. He is one of my favorite people on the planet when it comes to all this stuff right now, especially just like content creation around that. So big shout to that dude. The other person I want to shout out before we get out of here and get to the actual UFC 261. Well, we talked about March and Ash a decent amount. Shouts to my hat. They gave me good enough discounts this entire week that I was like, not only am I going to buy a hat from you guys, but I'm also going to shout you out because fucking you saved me. Let me put it this way. I bought this $109 quad half off. I bought this $40 eighth half off, and I bought a gram of wax that was $30 half off, and I got edible that was $10 half off. I got some pineapple express plus gummies that I use may or may not use during the daytime for when I may or may not be associated with clocks. Yeah, it's a great deal. So I figured I would shout them out for that. But really, Chris, I think I mentioned this briefly last week, but have you heard of the Grown Local podcast?
I have not. Can you tell me?
Grown Local podcast is hosted by Billy Wayne Davis, who you probably have heard on Behind the Bastards. He's the dude with the Southern accent, like super Southern accent.
Billy Wayne Davis?
Yes, that guy.
Okay. I think I remember that.
I believe he might have been on one of the episodes you listened to about the cop stuff a while back. Maybe not.
Oh, like the formation of ancient, like
he might have been on one.
Reformed in ancient times.
Yeah, he might have been on one of those, or if not, I know he's been on a bunch of Behind the Bastards episodes. But he's one of my favorite guests on that show. But he has his own podcast called Grown Local, and they're on season 3. They're about to start season 3. They just wrapped season 2. Season 1 was all focused around Eugene, Oregon, where essentially he knows a guy who works in a grow shop not a grow shop, sorry. Well, now he does, but he knows a guy who since the 90s, or I think since at least the 2000s, has worked in a grow shop, when I say a grow shop, like he works in like a tomato, like we sell hydroponic plant stuff here. Like we sell lights and fucking that kind, like a legit, like legal by the book grow shop. But that same guy later on went into the weed industry because he was of course growing the whole time because everybody is in Oregon. Because it's Eugene, Oregon, where the University of Oregon is. So everybody, I don't know if you've ever been there. I've been there because my girlfriend and I had.
Yeah, I've never been there, but I wouldn't mind going there because I think Oregon's pretty chill.
I loved Eugene. It's a very specific kind of white person there, is how I would describe that city.
I mean, but like aside from hipsters or just hipsters epitomized. I don't really care.
Yeah, there's a weird vibe to that.
Sure, maybe I do need to care.
Well, it's a college town, so it's like it's all like very, very white hippies, and then like black athletes who are brought in for U of O. It's a weird, very weird vibe. My girlfriend went there. She goddamn mess, but. That city is like it's a very weird hippie city, but like there's also this undertone of like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but when I go to a place where everybody's white, I start getting real nervous. Like I start getting real uncomfortable. I don't know. I think it's just me. I don't know what it is. I think it's just me where I'm just like,
why do I have a guilty conscience, Chris?
Maybe it's just because growing up in San Diego, like we already are a pretty white city, depending on which part of San Diego you're in. But like, there's at least some variety. But then if you go to Eugene, you're like, or like Portland's worse, to be honest, than Eugene is. But
hey, that's their problem.
I mean, yeah. Haxerize in chat saying that this sounds like very white people. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's already enough white guilt you can just think of.
100%.
I think it's no point in the short term. So
yeah.
Let those assholes from.
And I'm way off topic anyway. To be fair, never mind. I was gonna make a terrible joke that I'm gonna bail on right now. Let's just say my ex was a whore, so I'm sure more than white people. See, that sounds terrible. I just meant she bangs everybody. But it doesn't sound. There's no good way to phrase it where it doesn't sound weird. Anyway, shouts to my ex Heather. She's the worst. All right. So on that note, Grown Local podcast, Chris, was awesome. Anyway, it's all about Eugene, Oregon, and the weed scene there that happened since essentially the 90s.
Nice. And
then season 2 that they just wrapped up is all about Humboldt, which I haven't listened to yet. But it's so informative. I absolutely loved it. Like it is a combination of both very like deep nerdy weed knowledge. Yep. But it's also like very like Billy Wayne Davis is also being like, he'll just chime in and be like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about in his southern accent, but you guys need to dumb this shit down. You're talking about too many types of triglycerines and I don't fucking understand. And it's great, so I highly recommend it. Anyway, Chris, UFC 261.
Yes, let's get into this.
Now that I've officially rambled about weed, my intended amount.
So first fight of the night, we had a very stocky build in the fighter of Ariane Carnelossi going up against Na Liang.
Yo, did you just describe her as having a stocky build, my guy?
Well, I mean, did you see her back, dude? Her lats?
Okay, I just wanted you to...
baby eaters, bruh.
Okay, I just wanted you to clarify that definition because I guarantee somebody right now was like, these motherfuckers. One guy just said his ex likes to bang everybody, and the other guy is saying that this girl has a stocky build. To be fair, though, compared to
checks out all around.
Compared to Naliang, yeah, she's stocky as shit, bro. And she absolutely beasted on. To be fair, she got which one of them crushed the other one in the face right out the gate. Because they both slammed me. They both.
Yeah. So how do you bring that up? If you were, regardless in the building, getting coronavirus and possibly dying in the future, this fight started off just as fucking insane as you'd want any pay-per-view to start off, or just
I would argue this entire card was way amplified with adrenaline from all the fighters because of the lack of crowd for so long. Like, it seems like the energy of the crowd made for some really weird aggressive fights from fighters that don't always fight that way.
By the way, Chris, since I missed the majority of this card, although I did watch it all today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you keep saying that, but you've seen all these fights.
Oh no, but I did. But my point is, in live reaction, how many, regardless if they're piece of shit athletes, sport athletes, or just celebrities on camera from the UFC camera, did you see or did they acknowledge during just the card in general?
You mean how it does this show Jake Paul?
No, not that piece of shit. He does that to himself. By the way, Daniel Cormier, you really should have just picked him up and dumped him on his neck and broke his neck, but that's just my wishful thinking.
Yeah, but that would have preempted the discussion that would have probably gone against the discussion they had where they go face to face and they talked about all this ahead of time and that Dana White coordinated it.
Well, you're not wrong there.
Because the sport is just bad pro wrestling at this point. Or at least UFC
I didn't realize that kid's losing all of his hair already. Good for him. Anyways,
hey, bro.
Shouts out to Ariane Carnelossi. It was funny.
Dude, this fight was. Oh yeah, we should get back to this because this fight was wild as shit. It was so back and forth. Like, so one of them. Which one was it? It was Ariane that got cracked right out the gate, right? And dropped
out the gate, yeah.
Right out the gate.
Had a badass game plan. She's with the right string, bow, cracked her. And,
well, and then after that, they basically,
I'll say this, after that, Carnelossi kind of just was winning most grappling exchanges and kind of wrestle fucked her and just was slamming the fuck out of her eyes with her elbows.
True. I do gotta give some respect though to Naliang for going out there and just completely committing to the Don Fry Takayama gimmick. And just repping the Takayama hair and throwing the Takayama collar tie punches as much as possible and knees as much as possible. I did respect the shit out of that gimmick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, either way, Colonel Losey was just too much physically, and just as far as just controlling the where the fight was going every waning minute after like the just 1.5 after the second round, and excuse me, Colonel Losey ended up getting that finish. I mean, it was a clear finish. Leon just couldn't defend multiple times in a row. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, it was a weird stoppage though. Like it was definitely a very WMMA stoppage from the ref. Like in the male divisions, that stoppage wouldn't have gone that way. I don't disagree with it, but it just wouldn't have gone that way in a male division. But yeah, she gassed real hard towards the end of that first round, and then had nothing in the second.
I assume too she was American or something else because of her Italian last name. But once I saw,
you mean Carnelossi?
Yeah, but once I saw the Brazilian, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, good win for her. This next fight, holy fuck, dude, this was so cool, especially at the end when they just kind of stand and bang, kind of just like fuck the rules, kind of just last minute thing.
Yeah,
American fighter
dude,
Jeff Molina,
your boy Jeff
Chinese
Molina
fighter,
got some hands on him.
Yeah, Chilang Aori. I know they pronounce it a different way during the fight. I can't remember how they did it.
Sure, I'm gonna go with your pronunciation because
I'll call him Chilang. All I remember is they called him something different, but I don't know, so I'm just calling him Chilang. Anyways, shouts out to both these fighters. Holy fuck, what a goddamn fight.
Dude, it was a banger.
Especially that third fucking round. Damn.
Dude, yeah.
Like, them dudes are fucking just like, fuck putting my guard down. Let's just
Aori or whatever his name is. Dude has a wild... Talk about tough... I don't know. I would argue he has both toughness and durability because that dude was still trying to win that fight in that third round despite eating absolutely everything.
I think it was mostly success.
Yeah.
That third Lang was just throwing bombs.
It was insane. So yeah, absolutely a wild fight. And yeah, Molina did not... You could tell up until he started being able to land and find the range with his jab in the second, he was having a lot of trouble in that fight. But as soon as he started finding the range with the jab in the second, especially towards the end of that round, he started feeling himself real hard and looking real slick out there against the dude who was clearly fading via gas problems. And that's one thing I'm kind of curious about. It seemed like a lot of the Chinese fighters had some gas issues, which makes sense to me. Either be it problems with either getting COVID previously or with travel issues. Like,
yeah, probably travel thing.
People, like, even if you're used to traveling, nobody's traveled in a long time, so it's going to affect you a little bit differently than it used to, you know?
Yeah.
So, definitely thought it was interesting for sure.
Next up we had Mexican fighter Rodrigo Vargas going against Chinese fighter Zhu Rong.
Yeah.
I watched some of this fight. I can't lie and say I was a fan of this fight altogether. It was a mixture of grappling and just kind of pot shotting from the outside and no real engagement, kind of going towards the center of the octagon.
Yeah, the scoring was fucking insane from what I remember on this.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty fucking close from when I stopped.
I think this was the fight that had a 30-26 one direction. If not, I think it was this one. But either way, it was a weird fight. Vargas definitely came on way stronger as the fight went on. And there was some back and forth moment. There was back and forth moments throughout the entire card, honestly, in almost every fight. It was a pretty great card overall. But yeah, Vargas, I thought definitely eked it out. I don't have notes on my exact round by round stuff, but I do remember some back and forth stuff, and I do remember. I should pull up MMA decisions because I do remember. I want to say it was this fight that had the really, really weird scoring on it. Yeah, fucking... Okay, so two people had the right scorecard of 29-28, and then fucking Winkapa... Let's look up this motherfucker's full name. Troy Winkapa, who, Here, you know what? Let's do some fun history. So, Troy Winkapa, who had the only dissenting scorecard for Dan Ige, or no, sorry, for Edson Barbosa against Dan Ige. He also had a 30-26 for Vargas over Zhu in this fight somehow, which is a terrible scorecard. And then he also had 29-28 for Sabatini over Connolly, which that's more arguable. I still think it's probably 30-27, but either way, yeah, not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being said, dude absolutely dominated. Vargas looked very good.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of brought up just the right points. I tried to watch some of this fight, and it was a grappling exchange and just really all three rounds. Because Vargas just, I felt like he just kind of was able to just kind of keep his distance, pot shot, and then grab him up against the fence when he could. And just kind of break away. And he really didn't take too many risks, but he kind of just won the fight at some points. And sometimes that's what you got to do, honestly. So
For sure.
No shame in that.
And Iggy actually in chat bringing up a decent point also that he says he chooses to blame the Beijing Performance Institute on this one since every guy from China fought the exact same dumb, shitty way.
Oh, boy.
Which, I mean, honestly, there is a through line between a lot of the dudes just charging into shots.
Comment after this, and it's going to be borderline racist, so here we go.
Oh, okay. No.
Well, it'll be more... Okay.
You said borderline. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. All right. Anyways, this brings me to the point of definitely not Dana, probably Dana.
It's by the way, not only Dana. We got a pro tip on how to pronounce this.
Actually, right? I'm just actually guessing.
I know it's Dana. I'm pretty positive cool. It's Dana anyway. But no, we got. Wait, don't fuck it. Don't fuck up the second part because Iggy gave us a pronunciation guide in chat, which is Botgarel.
That's not an L. I am blind. I can't see from here. Oh, it's Botgar. That is very much Botgarel. Thank you.
Iggy yelling in chat, yeah, racism. Yeah, but I believe it's
the racism I was gonna say is I wasn't go with the Chinese performances, but Mongolian, so almost.
Exactly.
That was my racism.
Also, Iggy brings up the same point in chat is that it's weird that every single Asian fighter on the card out every single Asian fighter on the card except for Dana Batgarel, who did get the win.
That's where I was going. That's where I was headed to. That's my world.
And also,
I'm like, hey, good job, China. Just except for Mongolia gets the dub tonight. That's what I was gonna say. But it's like, well, it's just fucked up and a little easy to set up.
Mark Fellows just being a great guy in chat, asking if anybody needs a beer since he's going to the fridge.
Oh yeah, you can give me a little refill here, there, brother.
Love you, Mark. Also, Iggy just flexing in chat like a goddamn gangster, looking like the repeat of the toughness episode. Yeah, man, absolutely. This is a banger of a performance from Dana Batgarel.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Dude hit that left hand off in the mid switching stances while retreating. It was wild as shit.
Chris, when I was just watching it just a couple hours ago, Blake had come into him. He's like, "Hey, aren't dudes with crazy mohawks supposed to be really good and crazy?" I'm like, sometimes.
Yeah,
but
most of the time, no. Not since Chuck Liddell or fucking what's his face.
Definitely not Ricky Simone.
No, I'm talking the Bone Crusher, D. Casey.
Or your boy Dan Hardy.
Ah, yes, the OG Red Mohawk.
Dan Hardy, O2 Arena.
Dan Hardy, the Jeff Rowley of MMA, if I will.
Yeah, that's very fair. Who else had a fucking... Julian Lane had a mohawk.
Oh, God. Don't...
Yeah, all right, I'm done. Actually, I went too far with Julian Lane.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Let's keep going. Let's continue. We had Pat Sabatini going against Tristan Connolly. I'll be honest. I saw some of this fight. I did see Pat Sabatini goddamn near rear naked choke Tristan Connolly in about the first round. Got his back. Had his neck.
Yeah, body lock on the back. A lot of this fight was that. to be honest.
That's how it ended, right? It was like, all right, you win.
It was a lot of that over and over and over again, up until Pat Connolly lost the decision.
That's when I'll just say, all right, Pat Sabatini, congratulations.
Yeah, Pat looked really good. He also looked good on the feet too. He also like hung in. He didn't have to rely on his wrestling. He looked solid on the feet, also in that performance. So
He did. Fair. This fight though was fucking cool. Brendan
dude,
Allen.
yeah. Oh, it was cool up until Carl Roberson rolled the wrong way on a heel hook.
Oh, don't remind me.
that was it was bad, man. That's not pro tip to anyone fighting Carl Roberson: just take him down, because dude does everything wrong every time you take him down.
I'll let you describe this because like I saw a bunch of different things as far as like them kind of just exchanging grappling position.
I mean, they look good in most. Well, they look good on the feet against each other. Both were landing. Brendan Allen was looking a little bit quicker, but Carl Roberson was still landing some bombs. But as soon as Brendan Allen took it to the ground, that shit was kind of not fair anymore. You could tell him that it was. To me, it felt like Brendan Allen dominated him in the first round, was letting him burn some gas, trying to work back up, and then was going to just do the same in the second. But then halfway through that stand-up, for some reason, Carl Robertson decided to put himself in a 50-50 guard and then go for a leg. And then he immediately put himself into a leg lock and then turned the wrong way to leg lock himself. It was so bad. I'm not saying I would do better. I would do worse. But I'm just saying it was not good. At very best, it was a terrible game plan to at all try to engage in a 50-50 guard. I don't know, man. Carl Robertson is one of those guys who I have always thought will do either way better or way worse than he does. Like, he's what Eugene S. Robinson would call a gict. Like, he's a guy I can't trust. No, can't trust.
I can't trust.
Like, he's a guy who I just don't know what dude is going to show up at all, you know?
It's fair.
So, anyway, yeah. Good win from Brendan Allen regardless. And, yeah, that heel hook was... I mean, heel hook wins are a good way to make a name at 185. Shit, you could heel hook a lot of dudes at 185 if you can get them to grapple like that. So, anyway, let's see. Last, I think 2 fights at the prelims. We got Dwight Grant versus Stefan Sekulic. Or Sekulic.
Yep. It was from, I believe, Serbia.
I believe so. One of the hardest countries on the goddamn planet.
Yeah, pretty much. This was an entertaining fight, kind of. I can't remember.
I mean, Dwight Grant looked great up until he started gassing about 2 3/4 into the second. Like, as soon as he started slowing down, Sekulic definitely started picking up. And, like, even then, I don't know. It was pretty... I would argue Dwight Grant won a lot of it just on landing the more significant stuff, but like it was not, I would argue, impressive by any means. And he was really like he needed that third round, and he took the third round, but like he had to really dig deep, and it was not a clean win either. So I don't know. It was a split decision. I don't know about that split decision. I think he definitely got it, but I also think that third round was like if he didn't dig as deep as he did, I don't think he would have got it. But more importantly, though, Chris, I want to get to this next fight, which is the last fight in the prelims, which is Randy Brown versus Alex Oliveira. You saw this, right?
This was impressive, man. Just the fact that he did it with one arm was pretty fucking cool,
dude. It was impressive for a lot of reasons.
Even then, like, sure, he kind of had his own back against the cage, so he had a little more like a balance.
But if you watch how he caught it, he actually wasn't behind him, and he was off to the left side, he caught the neck, and then he actually rotated behind him, like along the fence, and then got behind him and caught the far side hook. It was like when you rewatch that he catches that neck, and then you watch him follow it with his hips. It's way more impressive. Like it's a very, very solid finish, and I would argue Randy Brown is somebody who people have been sleeping on in a kind of unfair way. Because while Randy Brown and Mickey Gall are both dudes who do not have the highest quality striking, but they will both admit that, I would argue.
Yeah.
Their grappling is both very, like, at least solid, if not, like, high level in spots, right?
Yeah.
They're both dudes out of Henzos, you know what I mean? Or out of at least big gyms out there. And they've both been through Henzos. And so Randy Brown, yeah, absolutely showing his chops. And catching not only the one-handed RNC, but the one-handed RNC with the shoulder wrap. And then I don't understand how it must just be a panic thing for Alex Oliveira. I don't understand how you keep two hands on one on the non-choking arm when you're getting choked out. Because the reason why he didn't fight the neck arm is because he had 2-on-1 on the non-choking arm, right? So like the thought is if you keep 2-on-1 on that, you keep the bat on the non-choking arm, then he can't actually finish it. But dude never actually addressed the choking arm, and then he started getting choked out. And he still kept holding the non-choking arm, and then he ends up on his back, and he's about to tap, and he's still not addressing it. Like at no point did he even try to go for the arm that was choking him, even as a scramble. So I think part of that was a little bit of a panic from him. Because you figure, like,
yeah, I agree.
At least at the very last moment, when you're falling back, you at least try and grab the thing that's on your neck, right? Because if you're holding a thing that's not choking you, and you're about to go out, you would. I mean, I know a lot of it's probably just like it's too many things to think through while you're in the moment, right? But yeah, interesting finish, and man, Randy Brown clearly has a fucking squeeze that is undeniable, and I think he's shown that in the past, but proved it once again for sure.
So these next two fights have to deal with checked kicks. That's what I'll call them.
Well, no, one of them has to do with a landing kick. The other one has to do with the check kick.
Yeah, this one was a bummer. I mean, both were. What do you think of Anthony Smith for Jimmy Crute? Because Jimmy Crute, I feel like, even after his leg was destroyed, he still landed 2 takedowns, which is impressive as fuck.
So, yes. I think that is a big note. So, the last time, Chris, you and I saw someone have this bad an injury live, yeah, time... Iggy in chat saying time is a flat circle. It all returns. Yes. Time is a flat circle and time ruins everything. I would argue this is a perfect example of both of those things.
Time is just dust in the wind, dude.
Actually, yeah, exactly. Also that. Chris, you get the time ruins everything now. Yeah. Which also, when I make that reference, it's way darker now that you recognize the context, right? It's fucking rough. But, yeah, it all comes tumbling down. Exactly. Yeah, man. This was one of those moments in time where, it's just frustrating. Like, a lot of this card actually was moments in time where you're like, oh, Jesus. Like, the Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute thing was like, just a matter of Jimmy, like, it could not have been more reminded of the Brent premise. It's what it felt like, right? Like you and I watched that in on a fucking big screen, dog.
Yeah, we were casuals behind us.
Yeah,
it was the greatest thing of all time. Yeah, like with a chop.
Yeah, we went to Mission Valley, and since we're in we're talking actually shit that barely exists anymore. Went to the theaters. It was Mission, right? Not Fashion.
Yeah, man, it was Mission Valley. Which is
Yeah,
like
so we went to
Central
Mission
San Diego.
Valley Mall, and we went to the, I think it's AMC theaters.
It was an AMC theater. It was like
And-
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And so we went and saw the Bellator card where fucking
Was it Bellator 215? I think it was. Or
no, it was
205.
It's either 200 or 250. 200, right?
I think it's 1,000% 200. Then yeah,
Or
yeah, 'cause
150?
Big deal.
It was a
200.
round
It was
number,
200 because it was a big
It was
deal.
Chael and
It was in
Wanderlei,
Madison
it
Square
was-
Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chael was on there, and then like we each also were like, "Fuck it, let's buy some beer." We got,
No,
like, some
yeah,
beer.
well, yeah, we got cocktails and beers and shit in the fucking.
Yeah.
Well, plus we already had a buzz going in too, because I think we smoked.
Oh
a
no,
joint
that
on
was
the
our
way,
point.
yeah.
And then that's why there was like the chill family. Like, Chill.
Yeah, there were some dudes in the audience that were like very hyped about Chill. Yeah, 100%. But no, this was the worst of the leg problems I've seen since then. Like, this is worse than Sean O'Malley's, I would argue. Because it was just, it was as ugly. Because Sean O'Malley was able to, like, kind of, like, he did a lot of, like, cage leaning to disguise a lot of it and all that. Whereas this was just like, oh, you don't understand how to flop your foot correctly. So you're just going to fucking limp leg it the entire leg and walk on your ankle. And it was very bad to watch. Like, as a dude who has broken his leg, well, actually, we'll get to that in a minute. But as a dude who has broken his leg, like Anderson Silva, and now another member of the MMA community, it is very hard to watch those kinds of floppy leg things. And yeah, that one was very, very tough. That being said, Jimmy fucking Crute is a tough motherfucker, right?
Yeah, he took him out twice, and he's like, I want to keep fucking fighting. Yeah, and he just like punched the fucking cage and just like all mad. And yeah, you got to feel for him.
The other thing I'll say, though, is I think he would have lost that fight over 3 rounds regardless. Anthony Smith was starting to jab him up and have such a clear speed advantage with the hands that and I'm pretty sure unless Jimmy Crute was going to try and wrestle fuck him for 2 rounds, I think he would have lost that fight, which I don't think Jimmy Crute would have tried to wrestle fuck unless he absolutely was dying. That being said, Anthony Smith getting double-legged 2 different times by a guy with 1 leg in 1 round is a bad thing for Anthony Smith.
That's not good look.
Like, I get that you clipped him the first time and you got taken down. That's acceptable. The second time when you got back up and he still got a goddamn I believe it was a knee tap takedown. That's a bad look, my guy.
So, speaking of other legs, Uriah Hall fought Chris Weidman for the first time in about 11 years. And this was bad.
Yeah. So is this where I just put my leg up on the here? If I put my leg up, can you guys see this? Where I have the fucking Anderson Silva scar search. Like I have the.
There you go. I saw a scar.
Anderson Silva scar on my knee where I got the same surgery. Where they essentially cut you open. So they put a metal pole down your. You guys, I don't know if you can't see my ankle. I'm not gonna do this to you guys. Anyway, they essentially what they do is when you break your leg that bad, especially in the center of the leg, generally what they do is they put a titanium rod down the hollow point of your bone, right? So on the inside of the main bone in your the shin part of your leg, you have a hollow part. What they do is they drill, they essentially pound in a titanium rod down the center of that so that the leg can set around that. And so what they do is you get a screw, they essentially pound that titanium rod down through the center of the bone, and they set screws both right below your knee and right above your ankle. And that is the difference is pretty incredible. So I originally, so some history on how I broke my leg like this. I was skating down a hill, right? So it's a hill. It's like a, I don't know, 45-ish degree hill. It's not that bad. It's probably 25. It's like a slight slant down a hill. Chris, you know this, right?
Yeah.
You know my old place, right? Where you take that turn and you take the second turn down the hill. Up the hill is Genesee and Tap House. So there's a 90-degree turn you have to take, right? So I had my little brother and his friends scouting the 90-degree turn. They, of course, had to take a piss break. I was like, fuck it. What are the odds? Went down the hill, turned the corner, clipped the side of a van, leg went under the wheel, split my shin in half, essentially. And then I tried to stand on it. Luckily, I was a punk kid at the time, so I had very tight jean pants on. Tried to stand on it, middle of my shin, did one of these, where just, like, I tried to stand and then went, the best way I can describe it, imagine if you broke a piece of celery apart and then tried to mash it together. That's what it felt like on the inside of my leg.
Yeah.
So then went to the hospital. They reset it, and then I got what at the time was a very new surgery. So they set my leg. They basically reset my leg, right? So it's back in the way it's supposed to be. I'm in a cast. They say you can't walk for 6. I think it was 3 months, something like that. So I'm just in a cast, laying there forever. Slips on Halloween night, so it slips out of place. So I'm in like crazy pain. Sucks a whole bunch of dicks. And they're like, all right, well, we can reset it again and start all over again, or you can have surgery and be walking in 6 weeks. So it's like, fuck it, I'll get the surgery. This later is what you guys would now know as the Anderson Silva surgery, where they drive the titanium rod down the center of the bone. They put I believe it's a screw at the top right below the knee and a screw right around the ankle area. And I was up and walking on crutches within 5 weeks, and I was walking without crutches and within 8 weeks. It was fucking crazy. Like, it's a crazy surgery, and it's crazy how far science has come with that shit. But, all that being said, I was very lucky that I was wearing very tight skate pants that prevented my bone from coming out of my fucking skin, because that's the worst part.
You wear like shorts.
Dude, if the bone comes out of your skin, you probably lose the leg because of infections. Like it gets very hard after that. So that's one thing that's very good with Chris. His leg is like it didn't go out of it stayed inside the skin, like it didn't pierce the skin. Yeah. So that's one thing that is like a big good thing. That same with Anderson. Anderson's was a spiral fracture. I'm not sure if Chris's was spiral or a clean fracture.
Dude, when I saw Weidman fall on his leg, I was like, dude, is that like an
well, so that's the thing is like he did the thing I did, which is like where you try and replant and you just see the center of your shin do this. Like because Anderson didn't do that. Anderson just fell right down because he knew it fell off his whole fucking leg. Whereas like what happened with me was when I broke my leg, I didn't know it because I was wearing tight jeans. So I went to stand on it, and it like I said, it was like if you were to break a piece of celery in half and then you were just smash and twist 2 pieces of celery together. That's what it felt like inside of my leg.
Which, by the way, if you haven't figured out, this was the Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman fight.
Yes, sorry.
11 years in the making. This is about 16 seconds into the fight this happened. Chris Weidman to just your general leg kick to the outside leg kick. Uriah Hall did just a leg check. Caught him right on the hardest part of his knee.
Yeah.
Snapped like a twig, like a baseball bat.
Wrap right around it. Like it's a freak. Bad. It's one of those things, man. And it's one of those things that's gonna keep happening in May until people by the way, this is not gonna stop this is gonna happen more in future because people know how to check kicks and people don't know how to throw kicks. And it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Sorry, Mark. Mark trying to enjoy a beverage, and I'm trying to gross him out as much as possible.
I'll let you cover this next fight, Chris.
I think we're through the rough parts, but I had to get into it because I've been through that type of shit, and like Like, it's... man, those kinds of breaks are... man, are they a thing?
I'll say this. This next fight was about as dominant as you can get. Just not even just in the grappling game, but just as far as total control and just as far as like, hey, this is my division, no one's gonna fuck with me. Gotta fight. I mean,
totally agree, but
dominant win from Crucifix. First of all, from fucking Crucifix again. We know the Crucifix victory in favor of the flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko over the former strawweight champion Jessica Andrade. It was shown she's fully capable of fighting at that weight class. It's just at this point, no one at 125 has anything on Valentina. It's a fact. It's
but here's my counter argument about this fight is that this is the safest possible game plan she could have executed, and it went as easily as it could have possibly gone.
Yeah. I agree.
Like literally, you could tell early on her game plan was, well, Andrade throws hard punches, so the safest possible game plan is to feint from the outside, make her engage, grab a clinch, and get trip takedowns, and repeat until she gasses or until I can kill her from top position. Which is like the most safe Valentina type game plan. Which, to be fair, I don't criticize Valentina for being super safe. I just find her very boring for being so safe about everything. Which, like, again, is very hypocritical because I love grapplers on the men's side who, you know what, pretty much everybody except for Valentina I love who are grapplers who just tough their way through wins. I think it's just Valentina specifically bugs the shit out of me. Maybe it's just my Conor Rebush side coming out, but
yeah, it's fine.
I don't know. That being said, though, I mean, absolutely insane performance by her. And
who knows if they'll do Valentina and
what do you even do? Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you can do it. I mean, I'm sure it'll still be a decent fight.
I guess, but like, what are we doing? Like, who's that for? And how that doesn't make you more money? It makes you less money.
You might as well just have it be an exhibition match. All right, this is for nothing. Just fight. Yeah, obviously they wouldn't do that, but you know.
Like honestly, yeah, it would mean less to do that at this point. I feel like.
So this next fight, I admit I thought Zhang Weili was gonna win this fight, at least early on. Didn't think it'd be early on from the factor of Rose, but in the style that she won, though, I was like, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. I wasn't able to catch this. This was actually going on when I was driving home from work, and I tuned in right as she was getting the belt wrapped around her. I was thinking, I saw, and they're like, oh, early knockouts. Oh, fuck yeah. I'm like, well, did she just get the 1-2 and just caught her? And once I saw that fucking just, I don't even call it a naked head kick or it was quick as fuck. So dude, maybe naked, whatever it was. Fast. That was as non-telegraphed and as just sneaky, stealthy head kick as you can come. Like no one would have seen that coming. It just snuck in like bang.
And the thing that was so slick is that Weili did see it coming, but she thought it was going low. Like, she thought it was... I think it was because she baited out so many low kicks, she was expecting a low kick. Because a lot of times fighters, if they throw a kick, they'll expect the same kick back at some point. Yeah. And I think Weili just kept trying to bait the low kick with the front leg, and then when it didn't come and it went high, I think she did not see it at all. And yeah, she hit it so clean.
Holy fuck, great performance from Namajunas. I mean, Trevor Whitman had a hell of a night. We'll get into the latter part of that just very soon. But good victory by Rose Namajunas over now former strawweight champion Zhang Weili. That's really a takeaway from her and her preparation. I'm sure she had an amazing fight camp. Rose Namajunas, though, Jesus Christ. I mean, she just continues to impress. She is now the women's strawweight champion again. For the second time, but in that fact also that she has her belt back.
And went out of her way to try and clarify that she wasn't trying to be a racist piece of shit, which I appreciate, even if she was kind of a racist piece of shit. Hey, as long as you go back and you're like, hey, would argue I was misunderstood, and here is my argument, and it did not include more racism. That's great. Like, most of the time, that's not how that goes. So I'm hoping the best for it. Also, yeah, Iggy saying in there that Zhang also reacted like it was a lead leg kick, 100%. And yeah, she bent at the knee, retracted her hip, and her arms were nowhere near her face, and yeah, just absolutely ate it. It was, man, I wonder how much of that has got to be travel for Zhang. Like, although the last Zhang fight was in the U.S. also, right? Or was it Abu Dhabi?
One?
The last fight that Zhang had against JJ? Was that Abu Dhabi? That was Abu Dhabi, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I wonder. Yeah, Iggy also saying it was kind of a non-apology. It was kind of a non-apology, but it was at least like... It was
it's
better...
her not saying nothing or not an
Well, yeah, it was better
she
than...
acknowledged it, honestly. In all honesty, that's all she had to do.
It was... Yeah, it was better than just... Well, it was better than what Pat Barry would have said to us. Well,
Let's not mention that asshole.
Where he's like, oh, hey, you know, fucking kids is cool sometimes. But, wait, what?
God fucking damn it.
Wait, I think we got off topic. Where were we at?
It's like, Chris Lee is my favorite comedian. And then we're like, okay, the main event, we had Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare, going up against Jorge Gambred, Masvidal. Yeah, if anyone bet on this...
All right, hold on. Haxeride's having a great point of my quote of, at least you didn't double down on being a racist piece of shit. No, that's a good point. I mean... yeah, okay. Haxeride is saying exactly what I was about to say, which... but to be fair, that's a pretty sad summary of the state of MMA that we're in, and yeah, it's better than expected, which is kind of my point. Yeah, 100%.
Kamaru Usman, if you bet on him,
oh my God, our chat is popping off.
All I can say is good for you because you made some good fucking money. By the way, the odds, for those who are curious, if you said Usman was going to knock out Masvidal in round 2, you were a plus 900 favorite, and congratulations on your nice payday. Is all I could say.
Yeah. Also, anybody I heard. Right, I believe it was, somebody who I should have, this is actually another honorable mention for me, which I totally blanked on because I listened to him live, which is the Body Locks live stream they did. It was fucking awesome. I absolutely loved it. And you should definitely go catch it because it was a blast. It was Matt Wells and Ant Walker and me and everybody hanging out. I mean, I'm hanging out in chat, but you expect that. But yeah, it was a blast. But they also brought up some of this stuff too, which is worth mentioning. And in chat, shit is popping off. Wait, Chris, what was there was something that I was literally about to bring up, but I'm backing off of it for a couple of reasons. So this main event, going into this fight, Chris, were you like at all hyped about this rematch? Because we talked a little bit about it last week.
Not really, as far as this with the rematch entailed. I just, if I didn't watch this fight, I would have just assumed that I just, say a couple hours later, see Google, it says, Usman wins via dominant 5-round decision, and this is like via wrestling. That's my honest answer to that.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed it ending how it did.
Same.
And I don't doubt Usman's power. But it's more along the fact that Masvidal hadn't been finished. To his, I don't know if that's like just a compliment or just based on his stuff. You know what I mean? No, I don't know, because Usman in this fight was picking apart. Masvidal was picking apart Usman in this fight a lot in the first 2 rounds, but then once I saw Usman kind of trading with him and then just landing that fucking jab, and I kept telling my brother about that, and Blake, and Trevor, and then that right cross, I'm like, you guys, like, look what he's developed.
Yeah, he landed a very clean cross right before that finish.
Yeah, and they were kind of believing in that, but Either way, I honestly didn't expect Usman getting the finish. I know he's fully capable of knockout power, but it was
Not
mostly
like
because of the fact that
that,
Jorge
yeah.
Masvidal has never been finished, and I don't think anyone expects some sort of Falcon punch.
Not like
fucking,
that.
Whatever you want to call that, right? I just thought of Falcon punch from Super Smash Brothers. You know, like as far as like how he put him out,
Dude,
and, like
it
his
was
wound
it
up.
was so
just like,
well, and
bang,
he
you know?
slapped the guard and then drove that right hand clean through and then followed up so hard. Also Rose with one of the cleanest follow ups of a finish I've ever seen with that dart she throws off the dive. That is maybe the hardest shot I've seen thrown since Dan Henderson's elbow on Bisbing. Like the dart she throws on fucking Zhang Wali on the way down, she hits her so fucking hard with that shot. I think people are sleeping on that shot because you see Zhang Wali take the first shot bad and go down, but that second shot she hits on the way down is absolutely brutal. Also, shouts to Hacks for all the banger Rose jokes in chat. Iggy and Hacks with the banger Rose jokes in chat. Yo, once Rose gets old enough to understand these jokes, she's gonna think they're hilarious. You guys.
No. God damn it.
No, okay. I was trying to make more Pat Barry jokes.
I mean, yeah, no, I think it's funny, but it's also kind of sad. It's like,
No, I
fucking cunt.
know. It's unfortunate. That's why they call him Pat picks the fruit from the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat Epstein Barry. You can say that too. At this point.
Yeah.
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 Might as well. Oh boy. Anyways,
Well, on that note,
yeah, this was a killer card.
officially gone off.
And it wasn't killer in that people got murdered, except for Weidman's leg. That kind of.
I would argue a lot of people got murdered. Jimmy Crute got murdered a little bit. Fucking
Well, Masvidal
Alex Oliveira got murdered a little bit.
By the way,
Jessica Andrade got murdered a
Speaking
little
of
bit.
murder, did you see
Yo.
the murders? Did you see the murdered sobriety of Colby Covington in that picture that the UFC took of him?
I would say the most murderous part of Colby Covington's gimmick is his seat placement. That motherfucker was in the grandstands, dog.
Well, that and I don't know if you saw this, but the UFC had a picture of him with him sticking his tongue out. Look at his pupils. He is on all the John Jones formula.
Hey, bruh, if you in Florida on a weekend and you not doing ecstasy, what is you doing, bruh?
You was doing life wrong.
Yeah, you's definitely not doing overrated, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So good on you, Kobe, and delaying the inevitable of your next ass kicking. So.
Dude. Also, I would like to say I did not listen to any of the commentary of this.
Nope.
Because I can't do Joe Rogan.
Nope. And you're smart, and Theo brought the attention to
Like,
that.
I tried
And
a bit of it.
Twitter
I can't.
was like, Joe Rogan is bad.
Dude, we've been saying this, but like, he's unbearable at this point. It's not listenable.
Hey, petition to just have Dominic Cruz and Michael Bisping do it, along
Dude.
with Dana Cormier.
I would also
Because they
argue.
grill each other. It's great.
Yeah, Brendan Fitzgerald and Anik are like, yeah, swap them. Every fight. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, Brendan Fitzgerald is totally capable. John Anik is totally capable. Bisbing is totally capable. Cormier is totally capable. Dom Cruz is totally capable. I don't think we need almost anybody else. I didn't mind is Dean Thomas on the Trevor Whitman position. Like, a very different vibe because Dean Thomas is way goofier. But he was totally okay on it. Like, I didn't mind it at all. Did you catch any of that?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
He was talking about how Masvidal was kicking Usman's legs because they're all skinny and shit.
Oh, yeah. I think I recall that now.
That's true. To Mark Fellows, Rogan did only say, oh my goodness, 40, I believe 87 times, according to that. Also, Laura Sanko Bisbing. Yo, hacks her eyes. I'm with that commentary team. That's a banger right there. Moral Orosenko and everything, to be honest. She's fucking great. Somebody needs, why does Orosenko not have a podcast, bruh?
I don't know.
Probably because she's too much shit to do, but yeah, 100%.
I'm with it.
Pax Rise is
awesome.
also pitching that you have DC and Cruz in the corner with tasers to use them on each other if they get too annoying.
That sounds amazing. Just have Dominic Cruz near Michael Bisping.
No, wait, you can't give Dominic Cruz. You can't give Dominic Cruz a taser, or else it's gonna be some Napoleon shit, and he's gonna take over the entire goddamn broadcast.
Like, you see this, DC? You see this, Bisping? I did a glide step to your left and tased you in the thigh because
Dom Cruz is gonna go around tasing the entire broadcast if you give him a taser.
So by
it's
the
like,
way,
hey fucker, you're wrong about that. That's not. He's actually not jacking the underhook like you should be.
So Pulver, are you down for this Thursday night, April 29th, Mortal Kombat?
I think that's our plan. It's not gonna. So
it's not confirmed, of course.
Chris and I talked about this off air. We're not going to be doing it live. We will be putting it out afterwards. It'll probably be our week off at the end of, I think it's May. I think there's a week at the end of May when there's not a UFC card. But we may be doing a Mortal Kombat commentary with Chris. I think it's going to be you and a whole bunch of our buddies, right?
So it's going to be...
It's basically going to be a greatest hits of all of our commentary guests.
Trevor, the homie Trevor, I think will be on his own end. And then on my end will be my brother Kyle. And, of course, our dear friend of the podcast, G6.
That's right. And then I'm thinking I'll be there, and I may drag in girlfriend Karen because I know she's been waiting to watch it as well. So we will see. It might be a shit show. We will see how it plays out. We should plan
for a Thursday, which would be either this Thursday, the 29th, or it's going to be some other time in the first week of May. We'll figure it out.
We'll do that off air. But anyway, look out for that because that should be fun. And then we will also have, we got some other we got some stuff up our sleeve of some stuff we might be playing with. Might be doing some video game streams or something at some point as well. So.
Yeah.
So I know Chris and I have been playing with that, and I'm about to be finally fully vaccinated here in about I think 3 weeks from now. I'll be fully vaccinated, so I'll be double Pfizer.
You're not in the white trash part of the city.
That's right. I'll be double Pfizered here in a minute, so we will be making it happen. But on that note, I guess we will go ahead and wrap this. But Chris, you got anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
That's it for now. Everyone, take it easy. And, treat the earth right. That's all I gotta say. And drink some beer.
Hell yeah. On that note, I guess if you're in a legal state, go buy some cannabis. If you're in a non-legal state, grow your own cannabis and don't tell anybody. And we love you. We will be back in, I guess, in a couple of days for some weed talk. In the meantime, we be retweeting podcasts. We'll be tweeting out podcasts. Please let us know all the shows we are sleeping on. We are always looking for recommendations, even if it's your own podcast. If you think you had a dope episode, like Shawnee Podcast hit us up last week saying he thought his Q&A episode was great, which it was. So we included it. So if you guys think you had a good episode of your show, please send it to us. We're looking for exactly that kind of feedback. So we'll be looking for that. And in the meantime, I'm going to be playing Skater XL. Chris going to be smoking weed and watching Padres games. And Chris, you got anything before we're out of here?
That's it for now. Until next time, everyone.
Go do something decadent. Fuck Nazis. We out. Late.
Liked by the sound of violence.
about it all.